Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, everyone, for episode 486 of the Lifting Podcast about nerfing. This is going to be the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic 3 recap episode. My name's Tanner.
Also, my name's Tommy.
That last episode, you know how we made a big deal about how this could be someone's first time?
I know.
Did you see someone on YouTube go, this is particularly funny because this is my first episode I've ever listened to?
I saw that comment and I loved it because it's like, well, statistically, there should be at least one new person every time.
Right. You take it for granted. You assume everyone's been listening.
Like, if we only got one new listener each episode, we'd only have 486 listeners.
We'd be doing a pretty shitty job of this at this point. So yeah, like, to the new people listening again, welcome to the new people, and we're glad to have the old ones back.
You picked a great time to jump in.
You did really pick a good time. There was something. Oh, that was another comment this week. Someone on one of the podcast episodes goes, "Who are those two guys in the intro?" And I'm like, well, there's a few of them, but I'm like, Bill I named them like the Bill Kazmaier, Donnie Thompson, Gino, and Matt Hayden, because I'm like, he probably doesn't know who Matt from Pioneer is.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, I know who the famous people are. Who are the other two guys? And I'm like, oh, that's me.
Yes.
One of the hosts of the show.
And the other one's Tommy.
Really throw him for a loop.
Now the other one's not me, in case anyone's wondering.
That would be too deep of a story to explain over a YouTube comment. So I just stuck with one of them's me, first of all. And he's like, oh, okay. That out of the way, I want to tell everyone about Texas Power.
Song was written about Texas Power Bars.
That's why we're trying to spread the good word. We had a powerlifting meet full of Texas Power Bars. I brought 4 Texas Power Bars, I brought 4 Texas Squat Bars, several Texas Deadlift Bars, and Dave did as well. We had about 20 out of the 24 bars there were at least Texas.
Maybe one of the
Texas
biggest
bars.
Collections of Texas Power Bars ever assembled in the state of South Dakota. Outside of Massenomics gym.
Be. It was even greater than my normal collection of Texas Power Bars, of Texas bars at least, So you could also get some bars. They're running a little sale right now where they've got $75 off certain bars. We were using, like I said, the Power Bar, the Squat Bar, the Deadlift Bar. If you consider yourself a deadlifter, you need to get yourself a Texas Deadlift Bar. Check them all out at TexasPowerBars.com.
This episode is also brought to you by Build Fast Formula. Build Fast Formula is backed by science, not all that other crap that's out there. Supplements should simply work, and most don't because you're sold a line, a vibe, and a boilerplate formula loaded with crap you don't need. You can't get better from clever claims and cool slogans, and a placebo only lasts so long. You deserve real results from supplements backed by research, not pseudoscience and hype. You deserve Build Fast Formula. I'm a big fan of their protein, and I'm also a big fan of their pre-workout formula whenever I need that little extra boost. If you really want to take that boost to the next level, you can mix their Full Blitz pre-workout with a little Vaso Blitz. Really get things crazy. But if you're not a fan of that, just go with the protein. 80-20, chocolate lava cake, great option. And when you're at Build Fast Formula, use code Massenomics. You can save 10% on your next order. You can also get a subscription set up and save 10% too. Combine those things together and you're saving lots of money. One more time, buildfastformula.com. Use code Massenomics. Save you 10%. Thank you, Build Fast Formula.
Thank you, Build Fast. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to be particularly paranoid about this episode, but I feel like we're going to take everyone on a bit of a crazy train. So We got a lot of Iron Men listening. I just want everyone out there to know that there's no more tears because Mama, I'm coming home.
That's right. That was pretty good.
Mr. Crowley.
War pigs.
Yeah, I see you put a topic in there. I assume.
It's actually weird how long it took me to. I was really in the zone for work today, like really in the zone. And it's weird how many times I read comments about Ozzy and Rip Ozzy, and my brain still didn't process that it was Ozzy Osbourne. I just kind of read right past it until several hours later. And I'm like, wait, I've been seeing a lot of these. I mean, he was old. It's not like a shock. Yeah. Kind of crazy, though, that he just did that concert. What was it, like 2 or 3 weeks ago? Did you see that?
Yeah, did you see that?
Have you heard about this?
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Did you see that Ryan was there, of Megan Ryan?
Oh, was he actually at that one?
Yeah, he was at the final concert. Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Because like Metallica and a whole bunch of people played at that concert.
Okay, and
it was a huge.
I didn't see hardly any clips from it at all, so I didn't know what I had missed. But that is kind of nuts that he does his final concert. Like, this is the send off, and it's just a couple weeks later. That's it.
Is Ryan saying that British David was there?
British David? Makes sense. Back to the motherland.
Oh yeah, he was.
Oh,
they say he was. Pretty cool.
That would be cool. But I mean, talk about
separation in Massenomics.
There is. Talk about staple of gym culture right there.
That's true. I don't know where we ranked Ozzy. What song did we do? A song?
Actually, that's a good question. Did we do a song?
We might not have picked an Ozzy song. Well, did we do a Black Sabbath song or something though?
The one that I always think of that I feel like I hear at Massenomics Gym a lot, kind of an odd pick, is No More Tears.
Yeah.
That one plays a lot at Massenomics Gym.
Yeah. I don't know. We might not have ranked one, actually. I don't think we did.
Which is surprising now, thinking about it.
Yeah. So what do you think? Were you an Ozzy fan, a Black Sabbath fan?
I would say, definitely I would say I was more of a Black Sabbath fan than an Ozzy fan, you know?
Yeah. What about the reality show?
Dude, that was a very culturally relevant show.
Was it the Osbournes?
Yeah, when that came out in, that has to be like early 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought most of the people on that show were pretty insufferable.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the first time you really heard just a lot of swearing on TV, it felt like.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find, 2002, first episode, 2002. Yeah, I felt like this couldn't be real at the time. And I didn't, 4 seasons, 52 episodes. That actually does surprise me. That seems like a lot. But those people, all the people in the show, like their children are actually children in that show.
Right.
You know, they're very young there. I mean, they might have been in high school or something, but it's funny looking back now at how young actually everyone seems. I'm just looking through some of these photos.
Probably except Ozzy.
He kind of just looks the same. Actually, he kind of looks the same forever, but at the same time, in some of the more candid stuff, he does look a lot younger.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, Sharon Osbourne was super annoying.
Yes, she was.
Anything else on Ozzy?
That's probably about it.
All right. Well, do we start to get into what everyone tuned in for? How the hell did the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic Part 3 go? So
it went good. All right, on to the next thing.
Pretty good. We'll see you next year, maybe.
Oh man, there's a lot to cover, isn't there?
A lot to unpack out of that one. My voice is still but barely. If we would have done this last night, I couldn't have done it still.
No, I was so tired. I was sitting on the couch with my boy. We're trying to read books and do these things, and I was just losing consciousness while I was sitting there with him. It was
overall, I am just completely shellacked from it. I am way more run down this year than last year, and I competed last year. I think it was actually harder not competing for me this year because at least when I was competing,
you're riding that
it just
high.
Took like 3 hours of in the zone of not competing might be stressful for some people, but I'm like, once you get started, it's not stressful. You're in the zone.
Oh yeah.
I'm not stressed out then. I'm totally I guess in the zone is the best thing I would call it, where I'm like, I didn't get to do that at all. So there was no zoned out.
That probably is why
half of the
you,
day.
now that you say that, that probably is why you feel so run down. I mean, I actually was more tired this year too, which is surprising, but I think that, if I didn't have that excitement of the meet day, I can see how I just feel way more wore out at the end of Saturday.
I lost 5 pounds over the weekend too.
Did you really?
I could make the 242 weight class right now.
Wow.
I think I lost 6 pounds, and not by
Damn.
trying.
We could have been competing in the same weight class.
Were you in the 242?
Yeah, because I weighed in at 223 or whatever.
At the start of the weekend, I wouldn't have made it, but by the end of it, I would have actually made the 242 weight class, or by yesterday.
That lift hard, live easy effect right there.
I guess. So yeah, say all those things, saying it was because it was a really good weekend, though. It was a very full, action-packed,
it was
wild weekend.
And part of it, it was somewhat, it was pretty similar size to last year. It was much more similar size to year 2 than year 2 was to year 1,
Right,
but
for sure.
It just, in my head, felt so much bigger this year. I don't know why. It felt like there was more people and more stuff going on.
There was about 15 more people, but, that's not even 10% larger than the prior year.
Right. That's not enough to hardly even notice in a crowd of that size, but just everything felt bigger to me this year for some reason.
Yeah, it definitely did. It grew significantly for not increasing the athletes by very much, I guess is the way I would describe that. Maybe for someone, someone asked me how many more people were there, and it's so hard to tell. Yeah. We kind of know the gate numbers and stuff, but that doesn't really tell the total picture. And I feel like more people stayed there a lot. Well, I don't even know. I guess I'm putting the cart before the horse. So what are we doing here?
Well, should we just start at the beginning? Otherwise, otherwise it's too hard to keep track of everything. I think we just got to take it chronologically. Also with the disclaimer that we are gonna forget things. We're gonna forget to mention cool things that happen with people. We're gonna forget call outs just because there was so much stuff this weekend. So if your name wasn't mentioned, it's just accidental.
Yeah. I guess my journey started on Wednesday. I took that off work, and I spent all day Wednesday packing the booth.
Yeah.
So on Wednesday, I got the booth packed in the Massenomics enclosed trailer. And then you got here Wednesday night.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I rolled into town Wednesday night, and then,
then we woke up Thursday morning.
Yep.
Got to your house together.
Yeah, got to your house about 8, and then we went with the trailer to the Ram Coda.
And Dave and Katie had just also gotten there, and with their big ass enclosed trailer, and we unloaded our booth, took it to the back of the room. That was really the first time going in the Ram Coda and seeing the chairs set up, and not the first time we'd been in there, but
this is my first time in there in quite a few years though. So it was
right. So then we dumped all our stuff off. Then Jake also showed up in that process too, to unload his first load of Strongman equipment that he had brought with him from Brookings, that Jake and Abby had brought. And they unloaded that. And then once we got done unloading and once they got done unloading, we all went to Massenomics gym to meet up with a bunch of volunteers. I would also say we had way more volunteers to help move stuff this year.
That was the biggest difference maker on Thursday, was that there was so many more volunteers to help out. That last year, I think it was to get all those plates, all those bars, the combo rack, everything out of the gym, because we're bringing half of the shit, it's a lot of stuff you got to bring. And I think that first or the second year,
literally half of the powerlifting equipment.
Yeah. Event. It's a lot of stuff, but then when you factor, then it has to go up the stairs. That's what really adds to the challenge of it. So I think that first year was me, you, and maybe 4 other people, maybe.
Yep.
And this year, we got there was already a trailer loaded up with plates. People were getting after it.
Right.
There was probably 15 of us, wasn't there?
Yeah, I would say so. There, and then I'd hate to try and mention all the people's names because there are so many.
Yeah, but just for comparison, I think I brought up a bar, 2 sets of plates, and maybe an arm of the combo, and that was kind of it.
Yeah,
I made 4 trips, and that was really about it.
and Jake and Abby had their pickup and trailer, and then Caden had Larry's trailer. So it was also really nice to just have like not all reliant upon the one flatbed trailer.
Right. Yeah. So like besides the
yeah.
giant flatbed, there were 2 more trailers there, which basically meant you only had to make one trip instead of multiple trips across town. Not that it's that far, but it's just nice to just load it all up and be done rather than going back and forth and people either waiting around or hanging out for the trailer to show up again.
And we were like, barring that first load that Jake and Abby dropped off and we dropped off of the booth, able to basically get everything in one pass after that. And I guess it felt like more equipment even to me than last year. Like there was so much equipment.
The thing that I didn't realize, and you had said this is, so, you know, how many bars are required again to do a 2 platform meet?
24.
So you have 24 bars because
barbells.
you need 6 warm-up platforms.
Yeah, so you need 8 bars for each lift. 8 times 3, 24.
So you have 8 times 3, which also means you need enough plates for 6 warm-up platforms.
Yeah.
Which means you also need 2 sets of kilo plates.
Yep.
and then you need
8 deadlift jacks.
8 deadlift jacks. It's just
8
a
plate
lot.
stands. Yeah.
It's just a lot of stuff you got to bring. I mean, it really does feel like you empty out half the gym to make this thing work.
There's a lot of equipment. Thank God for the people helping, though. Otherwise, it literally wouldn't be possible.
No, it would
in
just
the sense that
I mean, there'd be no way. Like I competed this year, there'd be no way I could compete if it was like me, you, and 1 or 2 other people. Like it's just like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
I don't even know, for the sake of time, if it could even be done.
Actually, that's also a good point. Like it just might never get done.
Right. Right. You'd just be dead getting things there and unloaded. So, but then we got all loaded up. It was so clutch having that many people helping. And then we went and took that load and dropped it off. And then like you and I kind of started setting up our booth because we hadn't done that yet.
Yeah. And that is actually one of the easiest things of the entire weekend now at this point, just because we've done it so many times and we did a single booth this year. It takes a little time, but it's very simple, very straightforward work at this point.
Right. As we were doing that, Dave and Katie were setting up all the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
There is like setting up all those banners and all those dividers takes so much time.
It does. Building that backdrop.
Building those things is a pain in the ass.
And it's just tedious. You're just connecting a bunch of rods and like extending them to the right lengths and hanging banners off of them. There's just a lot of just annoying stuff.
I mentioned to Dave at one point in time, running a powerlifting meet is mostly putting these pipe pull pocket things together.
Yeah.
Like it was a joke, but I'm like, it also is kind of true on some level too.
Mm-hmm.
So then we just kept setting up then.
I think so. And it was around that time too. Minnie showed up then too, didn't he? Right around there?
Yeah. Big Minnie came on Thursday early. He was there Thursday early to start setting up, which that's a freaking process for his. Anyone that, even if you were there, but you really didn't really sit and see what all Minnie has going on, it's insane. I know we mentioned it prior. We probably talked about it last year, but his setup this year had to have even been way more elaborate than last year.
Yeah, he has 4 or 5 cameras. He has a computer, 2 monitors, a whole computer, basically a mobile workstation. Batteries
and
wireless like more wireless receivers than you would ever think. Cords to run and connect everything. It's just it's wild how much gear he brings to this thing to make it all work.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just insane to me it's insane to me actually. The know-how that he has to actually operate all of that equipment is what I think is wild.
I said, for the most part, understand cameras, the tech behind them, and can basically make a camera do what I need it to. But you start adding in all these wireless receivers and live transitions and these switchboards and taking in audio, but not certain audio. I mean, it's crazy how he has figured that out over the years. It really is. It's just so over the top and awesome, and it's really impressive what he's been able to do.
I mean, basically no powerlifting meet or strongman competition has a better live stream than what he is able to do.
No, I don't think so. I think there's a lot that charge you money that do a significantly worse job than this.
So what I would put out on there is, he's not even sure what he want, if he's interested in this, but if you are someone that's running something and you want a live stream and you want to pay someone, he would be the guy that you need to be paying. If you want to, and I'm saying like for most of the biggest meets that exist, like he is the guy you would
And
want.
here's the direction we give him. Just be here on time if you can, Minnie. Like that's the direction.
Yeah.
He just shows up and does all of it. Like he doesn't ask us any questions. Not saying he doesn't want our input. It's just like we literally have full faith in him that he's just going to handle it and we don't have to be involved. And he does.
Right.
Like there's no question about it.
A few things, gets a little input on a couple things, but for the most part, it's like, no, we know at this point, you know what you're doing.
You're the expert
so
here.
you know way more than any of us know.
Yeah, he asked me ahead of time to send him a few logos, things like that, and that's about it.
Yes. And actually Rachel also, I'm just saying,
Rachel too.
Minnie and Rachel, it's a 2-person team.
Yes.
Just like before I said Jake and Abby, that's a 2-person team. Minnie and Rachel is a 2-person team.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel is working that entire time also.
Yeah.
So the freaking boxes of stuff though is crazy. I'm like, I don't even know how to. I'd be so anxious about batteries and like that many electronics and keeping things
so
straight.
crazy.
It's crazy.
It's so much stuff.
Yeah. So then setup continued Thursday. Jake and Abby were putting together the secret event, the drink spotters that people, it had been under wraps yet. Nobody had seen those. And those in person were really freaking cool.
They're awesome in person.
Giant drink spotters. For anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, watch videos from the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic. You'll see the Strongman event was the kegs loaded into the giant drink spotter XLs.
It sort of breaks your brain when you first look at them because you recognize this, but it's not the right size.
Yes. That was cool. That event was everything as advertised to be, actually, of how cool that turned out. Any other notes on Thursday setup?
I mean,
that's just in preparation, getting ready for Friday weigh-ins.
The one thing that did surprise me on Thursday, typically we don't really see anyone on Thursday because it's at the Odeon. You have no reason to go there. It's basically locked. You can't get in. Being that this was at the hotel this year, there was already people hanging out most of the day on Thursday because it's at the hotel. That's where people are at. So they got to come down and see what the action is. So we already saw way more people Thursday afternoon than we typically do, until Friday.
Which is cool.
I like that part a lot.
Fun.
Yep.
Yeah. And
you kind of feel like we got a whole extra day with people.
Right. That part of it is pretty cool. That's a perk of the Ramkota. So setup was mostly done on Thursday. I mean, Dave and Katie continued to do things all day Friday, setting up, just as well as Jake and Abby getting ready for it. Never really stopped. You never really stop.
No, because you
setting
just
things up until it's time to go, because you're always just like, well, what else do we need?
You just hang around. It's like, well, we could do this. We could do this. One thing that was nice, at the Ramkota is years past we had to wheel out and set up every single chair, every single table, do all that. The chairs and tables were already out waiting for us, which was kind of nice this year when we got there. So that part didn't have to be messed with.
That was nice. The venue also costs 3 times as much, so
yes,
it should
be something that comes with that.
That's an improvement. The air conditioning did work well. The temperature was much better in there, even as we were setting up. Although it did end up being about 75 degrees all weekend.
Well, didn't it get up to like 80 something on Saturday afternoon though?
Maybe.
I thought I went out to my car. I was actually thought it was fairly warm out, but maybe it's just because I went in my car for a minute.
Oh, Keith is still complaining about being hot in the Ramkota.
Some guys, you just can't please them.
Keith was still hot.
Might be a personal thing at this point.
That guy needs to keep ice in his pants, I think, or something. So Thursday night loggers was a change then too, right?
Yeah. Thursday night went to loggers. And this is, in the years past, Thursday night was always a very informal thing of, is anyone even going to be there? Who knows? And we figured out last year that yes, people will be there. So we just made it a thing this year. it's the first official get together of the weekend for everyone. And it's a ton of fun.
I think doing it at Loggers was a good move this year. That went pretty well. That was fun in there.
Well, and it makes it very obvious that this is just we had our whole corner of the bar, and it's just so clear that when you show up that this is just almost part social hour, part bar, part eat. Half the people weren't even at their table. Everyone's just wandering around talking. So it makes that easier to do than when you're at more of a formal restaurant where you feel like you can't be up and taking the place over as much.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a really good there was a lot of people there, like a lot of new people, a lot of people that overall on the weekend, I'd make that comment too. It's even the third time of doing this, you think, oh, okay, it'd be a lot of the same people. And it's not. There is a lot of the same people, which is great. Then it's like catching up with old friends, but also just the meeting of new crew that I've never met before.
Ton of fresh faces and
yeah.
a ton of fresh faces. Then also faces that you haven't seen since, there's some
a
people
year
that took
ago
last year off.
or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we haven't hung out for 2 years.
Yep, they're like, last time, haven't seen you in 2 years, and I'm back. I just said, I couldn't make it last year. I had to take it off, whatever it is. And so, but it's always a thing. It's so funny at this of, when you're at a place like Loggers, it's okay. Are you with us? Are you with this group, or are you just here at the bar? And then you kind of hang around, and then you're like, no, they're kind of mingling around this area. So who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because most people know who me and you are, but there still are some people that we don't know who they are.
Right. And you start to get that feeling of like, oh, I assume you're with the group here, but it's a little hard to tell sometimes too. Massenomics shirts usually a dead giveaway, but that not
typically,
wearing a Massenomics shirt.
Not everyone has one on all the time.
Yeah. What was next?
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else Thursday night that was noteworthy. I mean, that was the first, just time to really talk with everyone, have a good time there. Next one goes to Friday morning. Oh, weigh-ins. And God, okay, what time did weigh-ins start? 8:30?
8 or 8:30. I can't. Or 8:30.
8:30. I think I showed up at 8:35, and I don't know. It seemed like there was 100 people in the room. Like I was absolutely shocked how many people were there.
8, and there was probably 100 people there already.
Yeah,
prior to 8.
It felt like the meet had started when I walked in. There was so many people. You had a giant line at the booth already. I'm like, this started 5 minutes ago. What's going on here? And you're like, nope, people have been here for a half hour already. And the line was it was like busier than the Arnold, honestly. As far as sales go, it was busier than the Arnold.
Friday at the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic is as busy as a really busy Arnold day.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's Friday at the Arnold or Friday at the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic is we sell more Massenomics merchandise than any other day.
You do. Well, and the Arnold has more people, but at the Arnold, people aren't lined up 35 deep. Like that's not an exaggeration. They're lined up 30 plus deep waiting in line to buy something from you. And
right.
So it is kind of a crazy hectic couple of hours while that's going on.
We had a lot of more custom Massenomics merch this year than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff went like hotcakes. There was all the
flannels,
denim, all the flannels. Yeah. See, Keith's got his orange one there. I thought that one was particularly cool. There was a lot of hats too. We had the cowboy beer helmets and also just like the cowboy felt hat or cowboy style felt hats that people. Yeah. There's Garrett wearing his cut off, and those we could have used twice as many of.
Yes.
Those like it really fit the vibe for the weekend too.
Mm-hmm. It did. Yeah, it played right into the whole thing.
Yeah, so that was cool. We had the meat shirt. We released our Silly Goose Barbell Club mesh shorts.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Silly Pint and Lift Hard Live Easy 3 license plate. Then also a secret shirt. And everything sold really well, but what's left over, we are putting back at the site. By the time this comes out, that stuff will be back on the site. As of a recording, it'll be later this week. So that stuff's all going to go on the site Thursday for anyone that wasn't there or that's having doubts about not getting something that wanted something. The meat shirt, there's like large and XL, like there's good sizes left, but not a lot of quantities of anything.
Yeah, extra small, small, and medium are gone, and like 2, 3, and 4X, I'll have like 1 or 2 left. And there's a few units of large and extra large, but
Silly Goose Barbell Club mesh shorts. We sold over half of them, but there's pretty much almost all sizes left still.
Okay.
So you can still get a crack at that. But with over half the inventory being gone, they won't last all that long either.
Mm-hmm.
There is some programs left, and I've sent those out in orders as they come. Also, going to send out some Orion's extra mosquito stickers.
Nice.
For the 2025, I gave blood, lift hard, live 3Z stickers. Got some extra of those that are going to go out with orders. Yeah, and the weigh-ins, more people come for the morning weigh-ins than the evening weigh-ins for sure. Morning weigh-ins is the busiest time. And after that, after I left there for a while, can't remember. Everyone goes to the gym, so we stopped by the gym for a while.
You and me and Kim went and got lunch.
Right. Where did we eat lunch at?
Mazatlan.
Oh, Mazatlan. Yeah. They gave me completely something I didn't order.
The wrong thing. Yeah. Like, my wife was here. She would straighten this whole thing out, but I'll just take it.
And it was funny. Kim was like, yep, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I go, you know that how people joke about how they need their wife to tell them that they got the wrong chicken tendies or whatever. I'm like, oh no, I actually do that. Like if my wife was here, she would tell them that it's wrong. But since she wasn't there, I'm like, I'll just eat this completely wrong order and be fine with it.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
I mean, and it was not even remote. Like it was a very odd menu item where I'm like, I don't even know what this menu item is.
I actually was kind of confused too because it wasn't really a taco. I don't actually know what it was. I mean, it was like all Mexican food. It was meat and there was a shell and there was some rice involved. Like it's never like totally wrong, but it was different.
Definitely not what I ordered. Yeah. I'm like, we'll do it. Eating this thing that I'm not even sure if I like definitely beats having to ask someone a question about fixing my order.
So we got done there and I went to the gym and the gym was already pretty popping at that point.
Yes. And Big Hogan and Big Nicole had brought the ATX pendulum squat machine Odie on their journey, on its journey across the world, going from Germany to Louisville, and then they hoofed it to
the bus,
stored it there for almost a month. Then they brought it to its final home in Western Northeast South Dakota, and they added a bunch of custom
decals
to it that made it really, really cool. And there's actually also it's like a historic side of the road marker that you read where it talks about its full journey.
Yeah,
and it's really good.
That was so okay. By the time I got there, they had just finished up putting it together, so people were already trying it out. Did I see a clip? Did it already make it to the other side of the gym? Is it in its final resting place?
I don't know if that's its final, but that's at least its temporary final spot until there's a couple other pieces of equipment I'd rather have there, but they're not easily moved to that side of the gym. So for the time being, the pendulum squat does just fit through the doorway, so it's not that big.
Oh, it does actually. Okay, I was wondering if you had to take the foot plate off or something.
No, it fits through the doorway as is. So
that's a real optical illusion. It just looks so large.
Yeah, no, it's actually doesn't take up too bad a space. It works out fine where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the way of anything. It maybe just feels a little odd.
Yeah, it's just the mojo of the room. Is it correct?
Right. It's not what I would consider the perfect placement of it, but it's not in the way and it works for now. And it's very usable. I actually used it this week, really used it for sets and reps for the first time this week. And I do really like that machine. And we really tested the size limitations of it. We had Big Mini get in there, and I'm like, okay, if he can do it, pretty much anyone can use this thing.
Yeah. And I saw just the one clip you had. A lot of people are already like, love this machine. So people must be pretty excited about it in the gym.
It's pretty good.
It is one of the more unique pieces too. That's not something you see everywhere you go.
Yeah. It's pretty legit. It's sweet. So I do really appreciate them making the trip with that, and also he had asked, is it okay if they do some things to it? And I had no idea what to expect.
I was curious what that meant too.
I had said, do what, I mean, you get the liberty of doing whatever you want. You've earned that right. But I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were going to straight up just improve it and make it look like the ATX logo. They put red behind it.
I was wondering if they did that or
place.
if that's actually how it was. No, that looks really good.
Yeah, no, they did that, and it does look really cool. So they kind of knocked it out of the park.
Cool.
And then there's people lifting in there in the gym. The gym's always, it's kind of nice that half the equipment's gone because there's so many people in the, that come into the gym. There's a little more space to spread out even when all the people are there. I always enjoy that. It's so fun coming into the gym and seeing like 45 people
just
in there.
Going at, there's some guys doing a grip contest.
Typical.
There's people checking out
Anthony
bars.
and Matthias had their round 3.
Oh, who was the winner of this one?
I can't hardly keep them straight, but if I'm remembering which one is which, Big Anthony, they actually tied. They tied on, what were they? Oh, they did the bronze PP for max weight from the floor, on a pin loaded, and they tied.
Really?
So then they went back to the dynamometer for the tiebreaker. And Anthony edged out Matthias on that by a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're pretty evenly matched, though.
And I think that Matthias's 2024 championship belt was on the line, so he'll probably be owing that to Anthony.
So wait, will there be a tetralogy here, or what's the long-term outlook on this battle?
I don't know if they're both listening or not, but Matthias, could you let us know, will there be a tetralogy to continue to settle the score? I'm not sure it's ever. Oh, he says yes.
Okay, round 4. All right.
So it's never really fully settled, is it?
You got to have those rivalries.
Yeah. Then Friday there was afternoon weigh-ins, and while afternoon weigh-ins are going, well, really all day, for like a week, my wife and Jack and his friends are getting things ready here, but then really on Friday, it's like getting the final setup ready to go, to have a couple hundred of our closest friends come over to our house. And I'm pretty sure it was the biggest backyard party that we've had over the years, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of people there. People need to, we will have the full YouTube video coming out here, or it will be out by the time you're hearing this, but there's also the
Key says 175 plus. I could believe it. I think it's got to be getting close to 200.
Those Instagram clips of the aerial footage, where you can see everyone. Well, and just even the group photo is huge too.
Yeah. We spruce. Oh, Jess brought up, I did really like this. We didn't get to get in on it, of course, but Big Jess brought up one of the cool parts of being in the Ramcota, so many people stayed there, and the pool area at the Ramcota isn't too bad. And I'm sure we made the comment at some point in time, oh, it's just like World's Strongest Man when all the big guys are in the pool. Well, it's like all these guys were in the pool and in the hot tub together. And it's like, there's these pictures of like 12
guys piled into the corner of the hot tub
all together
on top of each other. Because I remember at the bar,
I would love to have, hung out there. I wish we didn't have stuff to do there, because that does look like a lot of fun.
I remember at Loggers them being like, oh, we got to get back and get to the pool. And I just thought that was one of the things you say, like, oh, we're leaving. But no, then it was, I don't know, 20 minutes later, we're seeing pictures on Discord of, yes, them actually back at the pool together.
I don't blame them. That looked fun as hell. Then like when I would walk by on Friday, there was like they had a bunch of different people are playing board games and all these, the pool side.
Oh, in the pool,
tables.
were they?
Yeah. Okay. Like they were playing like, I don't know, not Magic the Gathering, but like
over the time, were they playing Pokemon or something maybe?
Yeah, maybe like other various games I don't know how to play, but it looked like fun just because I'm like, oh, there's Cody and Eddie playing some game that looks like fun,
Yeah.
So the Friday night party, we did have the the first annual cottage cheese eating contest. Ended up having 6 competitors in that one, and Matt, mostly squat videos, Matt kind of crushed that.
Ate a tub of cottage cheese in less than a minute. That is insane. That is so fast. Did you know that was the official time on it?
Oh, it was less than a minute?
Yeah, it was less than a minute. I think it was, was I talking to Jake or was it Anthony? I don't know. They're kind of the same to me, But,
Yeah, what's the difference?
one of them timed it, and he said, 52. Okay, Anthony, yeah. So it was 52 seconds is how long it took Matt to finish the whole thing.
Wow.
That's really impressive.
Yeah. That was it Garrett then that was halfway gagging a couple of times?
There was some
also?
people making some gagging noises, and my boy was standing right there, and I was like, "Hey, why don't you come this way a little bit? You don't need to be
Get out of the
caught in
splash
zone here."
Get out of the Gallagher splash zone. Yeah, I'm fairly surprised somebody didn't puke even just a little bit, but props to them for not. I don't think it would have ruined the event, but it would have made it more interesting, possibly even. But some people wouldn't have liked it as well.
And Matt, even after
people
winning,
definitely gathered around for the
oh yeah,
cottage cheese
people were
eating
very
contest.
interested. And Matt won, and his trophy was more cottage cheese, and he ate that too.
Yes, he did eat the lift glass full of cottage cheese.
What's 16 more ounces, right?
Yeah, I
That's
assume he
another
kept
pint.
the lift glass. Yeah. So we'll have to see if we run that back. Did you see that Daisy Cottage Cheese did share the cottage cheese eating contest?
Right. It has caught the attention of Big Cottage Cheese. So who knows what will come of this, but we are popping up on radars.
Yeah, I'm picturing that we might finally get that Big Cottage Cheese sponsorship that we've been after
Can
all
only
these
hope.
years.
Daisy has been, Daisy is my most frequently bought cottage cheese.
I did, because they DM'd and asked if they could share it and stuff. And I did give them a little background and said, we've talked about cottage cheese forever because we're lifters and we love the macro profile. And they said, yeah, the guy that runs our department is a weightlifter and he says the same thing. And I said something like, yeah, no surprise to me that he's in charge of the department. It sounds like a pretty sharp guy. And they liked that. So let's just say the groundwork's getting laid for a big partnership there, I think.
There could be a 7th sponsor next week. We'll say that.
Yeah. Friday night party also included the Hall of Fame ceremony where we handed out, I think, 6 cup level Hall of Fame members. Actually, you can consider this part of the supporting members segment even, because I'm just going to look up who all ended up walking away with their Hall of Fame cup. So it takes 12 achievements on our Hall of Fame checklist to get the cup level. And we did have several of those. So big James Roniak, Minnesota Department of Lifter Safety, got his cup. Big Andy Downs, Bremy Strong, got his cup. Big David Hunter, Old Band of Druthers, got his cup. Big Hogan, as mentioned previously, got his. Big Katie, she missed the ceremony. She did come a little later. We got her a cup. Big Garrett got his cup. And then surprise showing at the Lift Hard Leave Easy Classic, technical guy Nathan Eckberg showed up. Jake the Snake had mentioned that there was going to be there was a surprise person coming, and I swear not more than 2 minutes later, he walked in the door at the Ramkota.
Yeah.
And he was also there to receive got to check a few things off that weekend and got his cup.
God, I haven't looked at this Hall of Fame page yet. It is a sharp looking page with all these individuals on here.
51 cup members now in the Hall of Fame that have all hit 12 check marks. And then following the cup level was the jacket level Hall of Famers, which we inducted 5 this weekend. So a huge class joining the 4 existing.
And they were all there. All jacket members were present.
All 11 jackets counting.
That's really impressive. That all, I thought about that several times. I'm like, even still, to be a jacket member, you have to be the most hardcore of the hardcore here. But even there, the fact that all of them made it that's really cool. That's really cool.
Very possible the only time that'll ever happen again.
Right. Well, I mean, it's the summertime. There's family obligation. There's just stuff going on. So it's so cool.
If the jacket level never grew another person, it's very likely we won't get this entire group together again. Mm-hmm. Assuming it grows more, it even gets harder to get the entire everyone. And these aren't. Bryce was the first person from South Dakota that's made because people will be like, it's all local people. I'm like, no, it's Canada, Michigan, Nebraska, Indiana, Iowa,
Minnesota,
Pennsylvania. Yeah. So this year's class was Lou Nutter, Big Eddie Woodard, Big Brad the Pad, Big Bryce, Perfect Little Sweetie, and Tommy Schneider, the Stapler. And also, I hadn't realized this, got it corrected today. Lou Nutter is a master completer. We now have 3 master completers. He joins the likes of Scantz and Matthias as the third ever to hit all 16 achievements.
That is impressive stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Well done.
So pretty cool stuff. And everyone got their jackets. Then we had a little you popped the champagne. We all had a little champagne toast.
Yeah.
Except for the couple people in the Hall of Fame that don't drink alcohol. I just told them throw it over your shoulder.
Yep. And they did it.
Yeah. Friday night, Huck Finn finally made it after all of his travel worries with the camper, almost starting his camper on fire, losing an axle.
They were going to be there on Friday for Friday afternoon weigh-ins to sell, and they hit a little snafu on the road.
Yeah. So they did make it in time for the very end of the Friday night party, and it was really good to see them. It was fun. I wish they could have been there. They were scheduled to get in at about noon on Friday, which they would have got to experience that whole party. They would have got to be set up on Friday to sell during weigh-ins, which would have been cooler too. But it was still really fun having them there, and I'm glad that they were able to make it at all.
Oh yeah, I'm super pumped that they showed up because, when he sent that message, it seemed pretty grim, and I was just thinking, yep, it ain't happening. They're on family vacation. This is out of the way, kind of. Timing, they're just going to be screwed. It's not going to work. But luckily it did.
Yep. What else from the Friday? That drone footage that Antony took was really cool to see of the backyard party. The various things that people wear for the Friday night party is
lots of cool things there. I think I speak on behalf of everyone when I say thank you to Mary and Tanner for hosting the entire party. You guys got the yard in tip-top shape. You got the mosquito sprayers coming. You got pizzas coming. I don't know. Did you guys make like 40 pounds of pork?
Yeah, it was something like that. And
scotcheroos.
The food kind of worked out perfect. Like all the pizza, I don't know how many pizzas we had. It was like 20 pizzas. That's all gone very fast.
Yeah.
We kind of were about right on the pork. There was like enough left that I had some leftovers, but like not like where we had.
So there wasn't pounds 30 and pounds.
No, it kind of worked out.
Okay.
That worked out kind of perfectly. And my backyard works perfect for that party.
It works so
there's
good.
plenty of room for everyone to just hang out. No, you don't feel trapped somewhere.
Yeah, my kids were pumped to go on the trampoline and the playground. They were busy there. There's whole swaths of kids roaming wild. I don't know where these feral children are coming from, but there's children everywhere, and then there's just adults everywhere.
That's a good point. I think that people that haven't been to this before, they probably underestimate. I believe this is kind of a hidden gem of the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic for families. It is not that it is a pretty family friendly event for the most part, outside of like Thursday night at the bar and Saturday night at the bar. Like that Friday evening party is definitely a family event. Like was, I don't know how many kids, at
least 20.
It's kind of great because the kids all play with each other. So they're like, pretty much entertained for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a wide ager. My daughter's 2 and there was some kids around her age and Jack's 14. There's some of his buddies roaming around. So it's kind of like everyone from 2 to 14-ish or whatever is sort of represented there.
Right. The mosquitoes we sprayed like 2 days before and thankfully, which was coincidental, the city sprayed like a day before. And the mosquitoes were not a problem at all until it was completely dark, and then I mean, it's just
That's just how it is.
unavoidable. But
Yep.
that's okay because that's kind of the signals the end of the party every year anyways.
Otherwise, people might just never leave, if the mosquitoes didn't come out at night. But yeah, I think, you guys had the porta potty like always, the 3 kiddie pools, or there's kiddie pools stocked with beer, sparkling water, flat water. I mean, people don't realize is that when they're come to this, they kind of are getting a whole picnic meal taken care of. I mean, not just like a picnic meal, like it is a full meal is actually taken care of for them.
Right.
And you don't have to like ration out. Like I think like 2 pieces of pizza, 3 pulled pork sandwiches, and like 3 or 4 scotcheroos. Like I was not going in there like taking it easy, and I don't think I'm the only one that went kind of hard.
The Friday, and the weather was also perfect.
The weather was absolutely perfect.
Like it really couldn't have been better. The Friday night party is one of my favorite parts of the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic. Like there's a lot of cool things,
Look,
but
the Minnesota Department of Lifter Safety, they were
party.
playing spike ball.
Yeah.
I was saying there's some kids on the trampoline. You got some of the cigar smokers over in the corner. You have a bunch of tables out and people are sitting at one table and making the round. There's just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah, the Minnesota Department of Lifter Safety always has young person things. They're like, let's bring this down. Let's bring the average age down about 15 years here.
Being all active and doing crazy
all you old
stuff.
guys, get the hell out of my way. We got fun shit to do. We should let's take this opportunity to mention our newest sponsor of the Massenomics podcast, EliteFTS. EliteFTS. Check them out for, every lifter of the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic got a free roll of toilet paper, a multiply EliteFTS toilet paper. You could also get, if you weren't there, you could get some for yourself. They still have some. Go on the site, use discount code Massenomics. It'll save 10% on every roll of toilet paper that you purchase from EliteFTS. I did enjoy giving these out to everyone, like checking them to people across the room. And they're like,
Because people catch it and they're like, what am I getting here?
What's this? They're like, toilet paper. So they also have non-comical items for sale at EliteFTS also, like their bands. I've got a whole box of their bands right here that we'll look at more in the future weeks. But I don't know. I think they're kind of the name to know and trust when it comes to bands. And then they got more advanced, higher end equipment too, like their safety squat bar. But discount code Massenomics, I said discount code Massenomics. It's discount code MASS10 works for most things on their website. So check it out.
This episode is also brought to you by Juggernaut AI. Juggernaut AI is the smartest program for you. It also happened to be the program that I used on Saturday of the meet. We're about to get there, so we'll talk more in depth on that. But I used it to prep. Actually, I used the app for the entire last year prepping for this meet. I really enjoyed the entire process of it, from a bridge block to a hypertrophy, or to multiple hypertrophy blocks, multiple strength blocks, into the peaking block. It keeps training fun. It switches it up throughout the year, so you never feel like things are getting too repetitive, too stagnant. And most importantly, it got me strong. All my numbers improved. So, I mean, what more can you want out of a program? It's show you how to get strong, stay strong, and use your strength. If you would like to sign up for Juggernaut AI, head on over to juggernautai.app. That is the website. Do that on your browser. And while you're there, you can use code Massenomics and save 10% on the lifetime of your membership. That brings it down to about $32 a month. Once again, you have to do that through the website, juggernautai.app, and it'll get you taken care of. Thank you, Juggernaut.
I'm not going to do a separate supporting member segment this week because
I think that's fair.
I haven't been able to pay attention to anything that's not Lift Hard Live Easy. So if you tried to post something, there's no way in hell I would have seen it. So you're going to have to
the
try
Discord
and repost
was
it again this week.
hard to keep up with this week.
Especially when you're just busy as frig the whole friggin' time, there's no way. So
There'd just be 4 hours that would go by in that thread, and it'd feel like hundreds of messages in there.
Yeah. Jenna Lee brings up a good point. There was a lot of coverage on the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic this year. So SD Sports Scene did an article on it that came out maybe like on Wednesday. And then the Aberdeen Insider had an article that came out and it had made it described the mystery event like after you loaded the drink spotter with kegs, then you were going to have to carry the drink spotter across the room full of kegs.
May have missed a detail in there.
Yeah. So, and then there was, putting the cart before the horse, but Big Chris Hornet competing in the powerlifting meet, he wrote an article for the Rapid City Journal, I think. Is that the publication?
Yeah.
And that was a really good article.
Yeah, one of those.
That was a recap of the event. And I'm like, you can really tell when someone
gets it.
Yeah.
Actually understands the format.
Yes. So I thought that was that was a really great article.
And it was shared a ton of time. I can imagine that article got some pretty decent traffic for him.
I would think so. I don't know. Are we on to Saturday then? The real meat and potatoes of the
I think
whole
so,
thing?
because Friday, I mean, we're at the point where we said, we shut it down and went home to start the day Saturday.
Yeah. So what was Saturday all about? What happened?
Well, I guess there was a meet. I did.
Yeah.
They said the rules meeting was starting at 7:30. I think I showed up about 7:45, and someone's like, "You're missing the rules meeting." I'm like, "Oh, it's powerlifting. Did they change the rules for 2025?" And in case anyone was wondering, no, the rules of powerlifting have not changed. So, don't feel like you're missing anything there. But you show up and it's game time. You get there. There was 3 flights, 2 platforms, 3 flights. I was in the 3rd flight. Actually, before I even did that, I hung out by the booth for a little bit, and the booth is still just slamming. It's just so busy with stuff going on. I was also surprised right off the bat at 8:30 how many people were there. When the meet started, it felt like the chairs were 3/4 full in the convention center.
Big Zach rocked the national anthem again to kick it off. And then it's pretty much just right into it. It's just
Huck Finn was set up ready to go too. Actually, so on Saturday, I don't know if we said that, we had Massenomics was we are the, it's our event. We're the main vendor there, obviously, but Huck Finn had a booth, Barbell Rescue had a booth, us, Build Fast Formula, Barefoot Shoes, Braden with Meat and Muscles, and then Dan.
Strongman Dan with the arm tattoos for his loadable maces and kettlebells, and his gym. Is it Macebell Monster or?
That's what I was gonna say.
It might be. I can't. But Strongman Dan. It was Big Dan with the arm tattoos.
Yeah.
So we had 7 vendors set up there, along with the bar and then the food vendor.
And it was all. It actually worked out really good. We weren't totally sure how that part would go, and they were all in a line. I thought that was a cool way to kind of anchor the back of the room, have some excitement back there too.
Yeah, and then all the chairs are kind of in the center facing the platform, and then there's a little bit of a gap between the end of the chairs and the booths, which is kind of necessary because not everyone wants to sit in a chair. And
gotta
also
have some space.
At times the room was just pretty full.
It was.
In terms of chairs and standing and standing on the sides and everything. So it was just pretty full. I would say as far as notes on the setup, the way that the room was and stuff, the one negative, I think this is obvious if you're comparing it to the Odie, is that the warm-up room was smaller.
Yeah. And as someone that actually did warm up, so I did have the benefit of being in the 3rd flight, which means that by the time I'm warming up, there shouldn't really be much behind us right away because we are the last flight. What shocked me right off the bat was how many people were in the warm-up room. I'm like, what is going on with this flight? And then I realized halfway through that it was a lot of people just hanging out and sitting back there, which is not the place to do that. There's tons of room to go somewhere else. So I think people figured out a little more as the day went on, that's not the place to just hang around, because it seemed like it maybe got a little better. Also, squat is the craziest one too. There's the most equipment out. Everyone's all over the place. So, people are walking squats out. It's not like the bench where there's just one set area. So, it was a little tight. I didn't think it was undoable. I actually did get really warm during squats, but I greatly, as a competitor, preferred it over the Odie getting ready for squats in the morning.
Yeah. We were limited with where the warm-up room could be because the Ramkota did not want us in any lifting, any competing beyond the dance floor,
Yeah.
But in hindsight, what could have been different, there was about five feet farther, and the judges could have just been on the carpet.
Yeah.
The platform itself could have been about 5 feet, so there could have been 5 more feet of warm-up room. And because of the way that those walls,
the room is like an elongated hexagon.
Right. Like us moving that 5 more feet would actually buy
octagon,
a little bit of width too, because coming up 5 feet, you gain a little bit of width also. So it wouldn't have been a huge, I mean, it's not going to double the size. You know, we can't like make the warm-up room considerably bigger in that scenario, but we could have helped it a little bit.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would have helped things, and that's just one of those things that now being on the other side of it, you just know.
Right. Otherwise, they did not empty the garbages like I had asked them too many times.
I don't think people actually believe you when you say like, "Oh, trust us, there'll be a lot of garbage." I think they're like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Last year we carried multiple pickup loads of garbage out of the OD, like to take to the dump, and yeah, Keith and a bunch of people were complaining about the bathrooms. I was in the bathrooms like 30 times. They weren't even bad. Like, have you had people been to a powerlifting meet before?
Me, the only thing about the bathroom was the floor was wet, but I don't think it was piss. I think it was just like water leaking from like a toilet somewhere. Again, you know, I took a few dumps there. Every time I did, it was totally pleasant. Like the toilet wasn't blowing up and overflowing with toilet paper and shit. Like it was never like that.
It's actually for like a large powerlifting meet. I don't think I've ever seen bathrooms that are better.
No, I didn't think they were bad at all. Like it was wet. And then, there was some of the soap dispensers got a little low. So you had to, find the right soap dispenser. But all things considered, things what I've seen in the past, pretty pleasant, honestly. Eventually, about 3/4 of the way through the day, they did put a wet floor sign down and a fan up. And that actually did seem to clear up the floor a little bit.
Yeah, I would give the bathrooms like maybe a B and B minus, but in terms of powerlifting meet, probably an A.
I'm trying to think if I've ever had a meet that actually had better bathrooms.
Right, and bigger ones.
Like, I don't know. The ODs, the ODs weren't nice last year by any means.
The ODs suck way worse.
Yeah,
like
they're really hot too.
There was a large improvement over those for sure. Like, there's much better than those. Yeah. And like overall, like the smells and sights of the Ramcoda are a lot better than the OD in general.
The humidity level.
Yeah. Yes. So I don't think people are whining about the bathrooms. I think the bathrooms are actually very little issue whatsoever.
Yeah. The OD, I think it was either 2 stalls or 3, I think. And yeah, like Garrett just said here, one of them was out of commission within 10 minutes last year. So I don't think that happened at the Ramcoda at all. And also, I don't know, a lot of these people were staying there. Couldn't you just walk over to your room? It was like an extra 30 seconds, wasn't it? That's just what I would have done if I had a room there. But
so I'm not too critical about the bathrooms. I think that's fine. The warm-up room was tight though.
It was. Yeah. But like I said, when I was done with my flight, when I got done with my 3rd squat, I didn't even hang around in the warm-up room. I literally went out into the audience to watch the meet, what's the point of me being in the warm-up room when I'm done with my attempts?
Right.
And I just think more people need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, if there's a way to really regulate that would have helped.
Right. It's just like,
it's hard
for the
to
most
do,
part,
though.
unless you're actually prepping, unless you're actually warming up or handling someone, there's just not really a reason you need to be back there.
All right. Right. What else were comparisons between like the OD and Ramcoda as a location? I do think it was way more of like a polished look, like adding it to being
100%. Just not standing on hard cement all day long, like the floor was carpeted. It's one of those things that sounds dumb, but you just leave feeling less beat up. You're
not just being hot everywhere you go the entire day.
You're not listening to fans, 30 fans running
That's
that full
true too.
I remember when all the fans unplugged last year, I'm like, are my ears hearing for the first time? It's just this weird sensation. And then also last year, you're either standing on the hard cement floor or you're sitting on a rusted out metal chair that seems like it might break at any moment, where these had nice padded chairs. It was just more comfortable in every way.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, more comfortable.
it was more comfortable. It was more pleasant. Everything, you know, they kept the food stand going all day. You know, you could get stuff out there. I don't know. I just thought there was a much higher level of polish. Like if someone showed up last year, was like, yeah, you guys are giving it a try. This is good for you. And like this, if you walked in, you're like, well, yeah, this is a real event. Like
it did feel like a real, like if you had no idea what powerlifting even was and you came to this, you'd be like, wow, this seems like it must be interesting. Like,
and the fact that everyone, is compacted to, you know, it was a big event space, but the fact that everyone's in this room rather than spread out across an entire hockey arena, it also made it seem a little more lively and exciting too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on the comparison between the two? Like there's not as much space. The one downside, I think, like the negative comparison would be there's not as much space.
But outside of the warm-up room, which we kind of said, I think for the most part we could improve that next year, you know, which is what we said. I mean, were we at a shortage of space at any point though?
No, I think it is just it was literally
to me, it's just an appropriate amount of space. Like I still think the optics are better of just tightening everything up rather than having this yard sale of just shit spread out everywhere, including people, you know. It just it makes it feel like just a more exciting event.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. So what about as the lifter then? You know, like you talked about the warm-up room, but what about the rest of it? How did the rest of it feel?
I'll just run through my day of lifting really quick. So I went 8 for 9. Squats were 3 for 3. My goal was to come in, and I'm like, my main goal was I wanted to set a bench PR, and I wanted to squat and deadlift over 500. And the plan was if things go decent, the squat's going to be right around 510, 512. And that's exactly what I did.
512, is that the number?
512.
Okay.
Was there more there? Yeah, 520 might have been there. 520. But I'm totally happy with that number. I have no regrets about that. Bench just freaking flew. Like my third attempt when I went and watched that back, actually, like, God, if I just objectively watched this and said, who is this? My third attempt, honestly, kind of almost looked like it should have been a first attempt. It was so freaking easy.
On bench.
It was so...
I was announcing during
You did.
that,
I played the clip like 10
10
times, and you're announcing, and I'm watching that. I'm like, that was so easy. So easy. I've never had a bench move. Like, all 3 of my attempts just looked like I could do them for reps.
That's, I think I even said, maybe it was after your second or something, but I said, put some weight on the bar. Like it just looked so easy.
Yeah. So bench, that was the one where
your last one did not look like a third attempt at all.
No, it didn't at all.
Like
but that was the thing. I heard.
Yeah.
That's what messed up my prep is I hurt my back a couple months ago. All my lifts went way down because I basically didn't get to train for a month. And then I started coming back into it. Things were terrible. And I really felt like I was hitting my groove again about 10 days out from the meet, which is when you almost start to shut things down. Yep. And so I'm just like, I don't even know where I'm at on things. Like it was an awful prep, you know, for the last 2 months. It really was bad because I had every intention of hitting much bigger numbers than these, but I just had to readjust expectations. So yeah, bench hit 347 on my third, and it was so easy. I might actually later this week just have a touch and go PR and see where we're at, you know, just to feel things out because it was too easy. You know, I got to know what's there. That seemed like there was so much more there. And then deadlift was really weird. Deadlift was actually feeling pretty good. I mean, bench felt really good in warm-up room. Deadlift was feeling pretty good too. And first attempt was 485. It moved pretty decent. I remember thinking in my head, like, oh man, it feels like that's kind of slipping out of my hand. Like it actually felt like that, which I've never had in a meet under 500 pounds. Feel like I was having trouble hanging on. And it's a Texas deadlift bar. It's a deadlift bar. It's sharp. And, I'm like, whatever. Okay. Just a weird thing. So my second attempt was 501 and I go out and pull it. And the second I start pulling from the ground, I feel the bar sliding out of my hand instantly. Like I felt slide down right away. And the weight moved fine. I get it up to the top. They say down. The second they say down, the bar just straight up drops out of my left hand. And I'm like, really?
And how much was that one?
That was 501. And it moved totally fine. But my thought was, like, that was actually really hard to hang on to. Like, my left forearm just felt cooked for some reason. I don't know why. And, you know, my goal into this was I just wanted to squat and deadlift over 500. And someone goes, too easy, move it up. I'm like, nope, I just want 500. I'm going to be so pissed with myself if I leave this with a 485 deadlift. So I took 501 again, got it on the third attempt. The left hand was still getting a little squirrely on me, and but I did get it. And so I ended my day at 501 on the deadlift, and that brings me to 8 for 9, and totally happy with that. It was a fun meet. Like I said, I brought all my numbers down a bit from expectations, but it took some of the pressure off, and it just made it really, really fun. Couple just other random notes about the lifting.
So what was your total though then?
That's actually a good question. I don't think I've ever. Let me just add this up. I don't think I've ever actually done this, so I'm not going to leave the. I'm not going
50 plus
347 plus 501. I'm leaving some decimal points out here, but yeah, about 1360 ish.
Okay.
Strength wise on the deadlift, my hands are better. I kind of think 520 might have been there. I don't think I wasn't pushing it by any means. And the same thing like bench, I don't know, 20 more pounds might have been there.
You might have left 40 pounds on the.
I could have
left 1,400 on the table.
I could have, but I've hit 1,400 before, so it's not
right.
It still wouldn't have been total
it's
PR.
Not like you left a PR total on the table or whatever.
Right. And that's the other thing too, is when you're sort of coming back, I guess it feels, you don't feel like, I don't know, I guess I don't feel like I need to stretch so hard to reach numbers that I've sort of that would still be less than numbers I've done before. So, but okay, couple random notes. When I came out on my first squat, so actually squats are feeling terrible. I had to like really get myself hyped up. I think it's just, the morning. Don't normally lift in the morning, but when I came out for my first squat and got under the bar and looked up, that is the first time ever in my life at a powerlifting meet. I thought, damn, there's a lot of people out here. I've never thought that ever. That was that was one of the first things in my head. I'm like, dude, I'm in the zone, but there's a lot of people in front of me. Like, you don't get that feeling very often. So that was pretty cool. The warm-up room was funny because, I like to get kind of, like, to me, that's sort of the fun part of it. There's levels of hypeness. I've watched, we've got to train with Boogs, and we know, like, what the pinnacle can be of hype.
Right.
And then there's also some people that are super, super chill. And I probably fall somewhere a little closer to what I'm going for, that higher hype. Like, I want the music loud. I'm going to do some loud grunting. I want to hit a little ammonia. Might want to slap my legs and stuff around a little bit, get going. And I think I was maybe lifting with the Zen Masters back there because
that's what you told me.
Let me just tell you, like,
chuckle out of that.
Like Sam, I mean, he just walked out of the crowd for his first attempt. He literally didn't even warm up.
So did I miss it? Did he walk from a chair sitting in the crowd?
That was the video I saw him post, and when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I didn't really remember seeing him in the warm-up room at all for squat. So, like, Sam, obviously, is very pretty zen, pretty low-key. Big Matthias, pretty low-key. The Minnesota Department of Lifter Safeties, those guys are, like, clinical. They're just, like, they know what to do. They've done 10,000 meets.
Surgical.
Like, they're just, like, it's, like, just another day at the office for them,
Yeah.
And I'm kind of used to, I feel like the Massenomics group, back in the day when we do meets, we'd get, yeah, let's go. Like, we'd be yelling at each other and getting each other going. And I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Everyone do your thing. But I just remember thinking that, like, oh, damn, this is the most just chill flight I've ever warmed up with in my life. That did change a little bit when we got to bench because Ryan and Matt Rongen got in the push-pull action. So, those guys like to get a little more hyped up.
So you were in the same flight as Ryan.
Yeah, and Matt Rongen was in the flight too. You were on the third.
Yeah, Matt gets pretty excited too.
Yes. Oh yeah, Matt gets gonna get really hyped up. And that's that's what I'm more used to. But it's just it's fun to really get the music. But also, you can't, I do it for my first few meets, it was like full blast music, crazy all the time. I don't even know if I really even listen to music during my warm-up sets at all. And even when the flight is going, I'm not even really listening to music. It's mainly when I see like 3 to 4 guys out. That's when I know, like, okay, I'm about 3-ish minutes from going. Like, I just need 3 minutes to just dial in. And so I didn't listen to that much music, because it is fun, just all the excitement of everything going on. But that's like those last 3 minutes I would dial in. I did, though, for the most part, until like I needed like my one hype up song. It was like the Natty Anthem was going, and it was like, oh, this is so fun. Like, it's just like reminded me of Juji's when everyone's going on these big lifts and like going crazy. It's like, nope, just keep the Natty Anthem going, baby. And my wife, it's so funny. She knows the song. And because I'd listened to it 1,000 times on Sunday, I just was like whistling it constantly. And she's like, no, not that song. And then
Natty
I'd
Anthem
stop doing
again.
it. Then I'd be like humming it. She's like, why is that song still going? I'm like, sorry, I listened to it a bunch yesterday. But yeah, as a competitor though, I had a ton of fun. I thought the meet was it was a really, really good time. Like we have the added stress of, you know, this other stuff going on, which definitely does make it more challenging than just showing up and having a good time. To the point where even on squats, I'm like, there's just too much stuff this weekend. But then once squats were done, I'm like, nope, I'm having a great time now.
Well, some of it, you could look at it if you want to put a positive spin on it. Sometimes it's like, my thought last year was like, God, I have no time to even be remotely nervous about this lifting because I just have to get the shit done until it's time to like go do. Like I'm like you can't even think about it because you're like
the best night of sleep. The best night of sleep I had the entire weekend was the night before the meet. And if you would have told me years ago that would ever happen, that's usually a god awful night of sleep for me. And I'm like, no, just got to show up and do my thing tomorrow. Like all the other days, it's like, oh, we got to do this. We got to do this. I hope these people show up. I hope this happens. Like hopefully there's no, like, I'm just thinking of 10,000 other things that by the time the meet comes around, it's like, oh, finally I can relax a little bit. You know, all the pieces,
what I'm saying.
all the pieces are in place.
Competing's fucking easy compared to like putting it on. You know, Jake and Dave could attest to that too, having done that. But someone mentioned it. A couple things people mentioned as you were explaining. Minnesota Department of Lifter Safety knocked it out of the park as usual as a spotter and loader team. Other thing I liked that somebody mentioned is the flames for the walkout. I thought that was actually cooler.
That was.
I don't know what everyone's thought of was that, but I liked that better than out in front of your last deadlift. I thought that. So what did you do when you came out for the flame?
Didn't do anything. I was too.
Okay.
I'm like,
did you
no,
stand,
I don't
just
have
stand
time
there
to
or like,
dick around with. No, I just walked right past it. I zoomed right past it. I'm like, I gotta hit
like,
this.
did you stop on the thing?
No,
at
I didn't
all
stop
for
at all. I literally just went right by like it wasn't even there. I'm like, I can't be bothered with this right now.
Yeah, I did think that was cool. The fucking funniest thing though is Bremy.
Oh God, that one
Andy.
was hilarious. Because I'm like, dude, if I went out to do that and that's what happened, you know how hard it would be for me to turn it back on and go deadlift after that?
So describe it for anyone that doesn't.
Okay, so what it was is, you know, it's like you come out from behind the curtain, there's the main entrance. And for deadlifts, what Dave did this year is he put the two flamethrowers on each side of the entrance. So you walk out and you kind of he had a tile down that you could stand on and hit your pose. So whether you want to do your double bicep or make some motion or whatever. And while you were doing your pose,
just a one hand wave to the crowd.
Yeah. While you're doing your pose, the flames shoot up, and it did make some really cool photo ops and some people had some really cool timing. But there was a few times where people came out to hit their pose and the flames maybe didn't go right away or like they were just off by a second. And the funniest one is Bremy. People gotta look this one up. I think it's on his Instagram, isn't it? Or was it just in the story?
That's probably on his Instagram, I think. Yeah.
And he goes out. What does he do? He like hits
I think almost like this or
yeah,
something.
he like crosses his arms or something, hits a pose, nothing happens. So he tries it again, nothing happens. You can tell he's frustrated and he walks away. And then the flames go off. And it's like you couldn't do more of almost like a Michael Scott. Like the timing was perfect in the worst way.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I did really like that idea with the flames. I thought that was actually really cool, and seeing what everyone did for the pose and stuff like that was neat. So I got to announce your bench and I announced for quite a while during bench mostly, and that was really fun. But announcing for a double platform is like a freaking full-time job. On a single platform, you get to like chit chat and you throw in things and stuff like that. But a 2-platform meet, it is just nonstop action.
And that's what I noticed going back to the live stream a little bit and watching it. Yeah, you're just going just boom, boom, boom. The other thing though is you are uniquely qualified in that you know essentially everyone.
I know.
That is either through the gym. Like I know a lot of people, but there's still enough guys that either go to the gym or have only really talked like on Instagram or something else that I don't know. And you literally know everyone and where they're from and most people something about their training. So like you have the inside line on everything that's happening.
I was actually like, just have to hold back so many anecdotes that I want to pull out about people because I'm like, there is no time. If I say one more thing about them, then the other person like is gone. you know, and you're kind of on the hook for announcing when the platform's ready. I mean, the judge does it, but when you're back there, you can't. Like, were you listening to the announcer tell you the platform was ready, or were you watching the judge? Because some people aren't watching the judge; they're waiting.
No,
for
what
the
I do is I
announcement.
just watch the TV. So,
Okay.
Yeah, because the TV, when I see so and so go out, I know I need to, put my chalk on, have my song ready, and then like I'm gonna go any minute. And they actually there was just a tiny crack in the curtain, so I could see like, okay, when it switched to my name, I still don't need to go out yet because I can see just them touching the last little bit. So yeah, I had a pretty good eye as to when I could go.
Yeah. Also, Big Kurt brings up something. Like when he came out for his first deadlift, I called him Kurt Wazowski, because we were earlier in the weekend, we were giving him crap about being Mike Wazowski.
Oh,
that's not Kurt. That's not Kurt's actual last name, but it's close to that.
Yep.
So I said that on his first deadlift. Like, and I called like Jeff Florida Man when he comes out for his first attempt. Like, I think that's funny to do on someone's first, but I try to make sure not to do that sort of thing. Like when they're coming out for their third,
right.
Then it's more like
keep it a little more serious.
Right. Or like Chris Daminger brings it up. Like I really made sure to say his last name every time because there's kind of a joke about me not knowing how to say his last name. So, yeah. It was fun announcing, but it definitely made me lose my voice too. There's no doubt.
There was one point I'm in the back and I hear you just screaming, and I was at the booth and Mary was there. I go, "Oh, Mary, is Tanner going to have a booth in an hour?" She's like, "No, he needs to stop right now."
Yeah, she came and got me. She's like, "You have to stop doing this." It is fun though, but it is also like I was wiped out for, I don't know, I think I announced for just about 2 hours there at one point, and I was one double platform is so much more exhausting for that than a single. It's just, it's crazy. The double platform really is a lot of action. One other thing about the crowd you mentioned, God, when Bryce was going for an 804 squat.
Oh yeah, dude,
his third attempt squat, he missed it. I mean, that, like when I got a video like panning out to the crowd, that place was like ready to erupt.
It was ready to go crazy.
I'm like, it was actually like people just on the edge of their seat.
Because it's so crazy. First, like everyone knows 800 pounds is a lot of weight. Like there's no one debating that. And then when Bryce goes out there, it's so damn high in the air. Like the spotters all basically have their arms outstretched above their head to spot him.
Right.
It looks so crazy. So the crowd is really hyped for that one. The other one is there was a guy that did unlimited bench.
Yes.
And the crowd was pretty jacked for that one too.
That one was fun to announce too, because like, like that's an easy one to get people excited for, right? It's like, if you don't got a good seat for this, you got to get one, because like this is not something you see.
And I've never seen anyone do unlimited bench in person.
Yeah.
And it's so wild watching it because it takes forever for it to get to his chest. And I think the attempt I watched was around 720, something like that.
Yeah.
It takes forever for it to get to his chest. It's down, 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 down. Finally gets there, and then whoop. And you're like, oh, that was it. It moves that fast. So it's kind of cool to see that.
Yeah, that was definitely cool. I think that the look and the feel of the powerlifting meet was really good though overall. It just seemed pretty electric for as far as that goes. Like compare that to powerlifting meets that we went to when we first started powerlifting.
I still tell
compare
people,
that to the first two powerlifting.
Not to knock on it, but the first,
it's fucking insane.
The first powerlifting meet,
same sport.
Do you remember how you would know you were up? They had an overhead projector that was written on with a magic marker. It was projected on a white screen, and they just had the piece of paper covering up names, so you didn't know. Like that was the first meet we did. It was literally a handwritten overhead projector. And like, I'm not talking about something from the 80s here. I'm talking about something that was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Right. Well, the equipment was from the 80s, but
but just from
the projector was from the 80s.
It's not even remotely the same thing,
Yeah, that I definitely had FOMO of not getting to lift in there though, of watching that and see it looked fun as hell. How I'd describe that as far as lifting goes. And Jen, of course, the 100 people doing it that
I know. You just know everyone.
Yeah.
You literally know everyone you're lifting with,
Yeah.
So you never feel like, oh shit, I'm lost or what's going on here. It's just it's just so easy in that respect.
Yeah. Do we move on to, what after powerlifting then at that point, you know?
Yeah, I think I mean, yeah, there was, I could talk about a ton of stuff, but I think that covers, as far as the powerlifting side goes, I think that covers all of the noteworthy things.
Yeah. So once powerlifting finishes, Dave and his crew get stuff out of there really quickly, and then Jake and Abby and their crew got stuff in there really quickly. It has so much stuff.
That like, is the thing. It's just a lot of stuff that to make this whole thing work.
Yeah, and like the first, or I tried to help with the Strongman setup here and there where I could, and they were very prepared. There was a printout of every weight to be loaded and like what exact weights needed to be on each one, and kind of making it foolproof, where thank God, because especially with like that deadlift medley, all the different bars and weights that need to be loaded, I'm like, God, if you're doing this by the seat of your pants, it would be
there's no way,
like it'd be impossible.
You'd be having discussions about just what you even need.
Yeah. So they were very prepared for that. I don't know how long the switchover took, if the break ended up being an hour or less than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was it 45 minutes or so maybe? Like that was the other one. I kind of missed, after the powerlifting's done, it's like, oh,
right,
I did it. And I'm like, I got to get some food. And then you're telling, you're talking with all the guys about how everything went. So I was kind of checked out until about halfway or so through the first event. So I was kind of gone for a little bit there.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I guess what I would say was as fast as you could possibly switch it over between the two is basically how long it took. And then the Strongman got rolling. There was the 5 weight classes this year, 26 lifters. And I mean, Strongman's just always so much fun to watch.
Yes.
I think,
because it's constantly
about Strongman.
Yeah, you're not settling in to watch 2.5, 3 hours of squatting. It's constantly changing up. There's always something new and different going on.
Yep.
I got to say one more thing really quick. I just remembered this.
Yeah. Actually, anything that you think, because there'll probably be multiple things, so we'll just sprinkle in
regarding announcers. So, Kate, my wife, people could hear you announcing, and I had 2 different people say this. My wife was one of them. My mom was the other one. They said it independently. They both thought Dave was me on the microphone. They're like, "Oh, Dave was talking? The guys sound just like each other." My wife said that, and my mom both said that.
You and Dave sound the same.
Yeah, they're like, we knew Tanner was on, and then a little bit later we heard someone else talking, and we're like, "Oh, when did Tommy get up there?" And they go, "It's the guy that runs the meet." And I'm like, "You're joking, right?" And my wife's like, "No, you guys actually sound like each other." Which I don't think so at all, but
I probably know you're both
people that know me very well. Yeah, 2 different people seem to think that.
Right, yeah. Your wife and your mom, I guess they. I am trying to picture that. That's interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. So, anyways.
Okay. Also, there was a woman that had like a seizure during the powerlifting meet.
Yeah.
And that was pretty scary. It must be like something, a medical condition that she has that happens periodically. But that was very scary for a second or two.
And I didn't know about that either. And it was my wife. Yeah. She said the same thing. She goes, "Yeah, someone come help her." And she said she went running back there. And
I was trying to call Wes or Jake on the, Wes actually did hear eventually. And he
right.
Yeah. Because someone's like, "Oh, is there anyone medical?" And I'm like, immediately, I'm like, "Well, what? Wes and Jake, Wes and Jake are both doctors. They're here somewhere, What did Big Garrett say? She was having a neurological issue. Yeah. So Garrett was right. Garrett and Sydney were there right away, and they ran over there too. Onto the Strongman. Events all looked really cool. I mean, the star of the show to me was the drink spotter loading event.
It was the most
so cool,
visually impressive thing. It's just
because I was in the back once the first 2 Strongman events were done, which were the overhead press and the deadlift medley.
Mm-hmm.
I was then in the back loading up 10 million plates to put onto the trailer, so that could be done. And there were several, there was people helping me at that point in time do that too. So I kind of missed a lot of the overhead, I missed the beginning of that drink spotter medley event. I didn't get to come until like some of the last few, and I was it was killing me not getting to watch that, but I kind of had to be loading stuff or else we were never going to get that done. But when I did get to watch that, I just thought that was so freaking cool. That looked really fun. I really talk about FOMO when they were doing that event. I'm like, that looks fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that just looked like a really cool event.
Mm-hmm.
And the kegs did turn out really well with all the wrap.
Yes, it did.
Decals on them.
Yep.
The sandbag event, I just thought it was particularly funny the way Big James was
swinging around that thing. Oh, they had the crowd in a frenzy when he pulled that maneuver out. People were excited for that.
I also really like multiple times Grayson and Jenna Lee ended up going at the same time, like in this opposing lanes from each other. And I think Hogan and Nicole at one point in time went at the same time, which that stuff's really cool. Like the chances of something like, you know, like the opportunity for something like that to happen is small.
To be going at the same time as a family member or significant other, like that's...
Yeah. The other thing I'd say about the Strongman is the volunteers did a really good job. Like there was a lot of them and they really did a good job.
Yeah, 'cause there's a lot of moving pieces to that.
Yeah, there's so much stuff moving around and like the moving kegs out between events between people going. I just thought that the Strongman volunteers really, you know, that's not an easy job as Brad the Pad taught us last year, but they just did a really good job. So any other notes on the Strongman competition?
I'm just trying to think. Keith broke that sandbag.
I'm going to invoice him that was a perfectly broken sandbag. Like I had that thing exactly the way I wanted it. And he just comes in and throws it onto the sharp edge of the yoke.
Yeah. You know, every show there's always that guy that's going to show up and, you know, he's just going to be reckless with the equipment because it's not his. And
that's
Keith for you.
That's Keith. So he will, but don't worry, everyone. He will be getting invoiced for that. So we're gonna do our part to make sure that he makes that right for us.
Good. Trying to think. I was in the second row of the audience when Dodds sort of passed out on his deadlift, so that was cool to see right there in the action.
Yeah, and Kelly, right?
Yeah, yep.
She before it certainly looked like to me that he was okay. She's like, he's okay, and I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah, because he goes down and then the hand pops up.
Yeah. I liked watching everyone compete in the Strongman event, though. There's just some really
actually the space worked really good. It seemed, you know, all the events seemed sized appropriately for the space.
It worked perfect utilizing that Strongman utilizing the same space as powerlifting, or at least the execution of it was really good. I thought. Once that finished up, we went into awards, and awards definitely take too long.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Oh, and Eddie was the commenter.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie did a really good job commenting. That's good.
I can't remember who said it. They go,
yeah, I did enjoy that.
How many times
he brought out the wig at one point?
How many times does a commentator have a change of wardrobe during their show? And yeah, Eddie had a change of wardrobe.
I did really like. I also did like Katie on the sandbag had her beer on the yoke and was taking drinks between each rotation back and forth.
Was she? I didn't even notice.
She had a drink spot or chill on the side of the yoke.
Okay.
And would take it off and take a drink and swing back around. But yeah, Eddie did a great job.
I didn't even know he was going to be the announcer. I didn't even ask who was going to be doing it. So I was surprised when Eddie first jumped up there.
Also, like the way I don't know if you've looked at the live stream at all, but the way Minnie had the announcers piped into the live stream.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really good.
Because last year, right? It was all silent last year, wasn't it?
I can't remember actually. I know the first year we had no sound the first year whatsoever.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't remember on the year 2 what it was, but this year it just was notably good to me. That
it was, yeah, because you have that announcing in there makes it really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. But to the point of the awards is that takes too long, and I don't know. There's got to be ways to do it better. You know, maybe it's you call up a class at a time.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, even in Strongman, you call up a podium at a time where it's women's class third.
Part of the
second,
problem is that
first.
there's actually almost as many classes as there are awards. There
in
wasn't
powerlifting,
actually that many.
it's crazy.
There actually wasn't that many bronze and silver medals. It was just a lot of gold medals. I mean, there might have been collectively. I mean, was there 250 awards collectively between everything?
Yeah. And it's probably like part of the photo package is everyone gets a photo too at the award ceremony. So that's a tricky part. But I'm like, God, I don't know. Maybe everyone just needs a group photo, or maybe it needs to be more of an assembly line, not like where we wait for one person to go through the
you
whole
just think of
process,
it.
then call
Even
up
if you say
the next
there's
person.
even if there's, by the time you add in, because powerlifting has the most hands down, but by the time you add in Strongman, some Massenomics awards, a few other odds and ends, it's probably pretty close to 200, if not more.
Right.
And it's like, well, if each one of those takes 30 seconds only, that's 100 minutes. That's an hour and a half.
I think you almost, for the powerlifting, you need a couple crowd pushers that are out in the audience going, you're next in line, get up there. Okay. Ryan, you're the next award. You get it. You go, and we have a line.
The entire audience, get in line. Your name will be called.
Yes.
Because that's what takes so long. It's just every single person has to come up and take a photo. I mean, it took over an hour and a half, didn't it, to do awards?
Yeah, we need to cut that down. That needs to be cut down.
It's very long.
I'm very convinced that is too long. That's too long. I don't want people to not get their awards. We just have to do it faster.
Yeah.
Like half as fast, really. Like it doesn't need to be 10% shorter. It needs to be like 65% shorter.
Right. Like when the Strongman show itself is roughly 3-ish hours, the awards can't be another hour 45 or whatever it is.
Right. The wooden plate awards. Well, actually, let's talk. Everyone in powerlifting won an award almost. I mean, that's not true. That's the joke of powerlifting. Everyone, but there's a ton of awards. But to mention the big winners, Matthias Cash repeated as overall men's champion, the only ever repeater of the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic powerlifting.
It really wasn't even that close.
No, like a 5:30 on the, what is it? What
I don't even remember. Was it
whatever
dots?
the score?
Or it might have been dots, but I think he was 40 points ahead of second place, maybe.
Nas was in second.
Yeah.
I think, and then Tommy Schneider might have been third. And along those lines, in powerlifting, for this being a whole bunch of crew and whatever, people joke about being home gym nerds and stuff like that. Obviously there's a wide variety of strength levels, but there was a lot of strong people competing in powerlifting.
There was some seriously
where
strong
I'm like,
people
oh
there.
my God, there is a lot of really strong people competing out there. Like, it's no joke to win that meet. You got to be like, that doesn't happen on accident. Like, there's a lot of big totals, a lot of high coefficient scores in there, and too. Dots is what Garrett said. Dot score. Matthias won. Big Stormy, first time here, she won the women's overall lifter. She got the other belt. The belts looked awesome this year.
They did. They looked really cool.
Larry Legend won best masters lifter.
And also had the best meet of his life.
Yeah. Larry Legend at 48 years old hit a PR in all 3 lifts, and as well as an enormous total PR. He totaled over 1,600 pounds for the first time, squatted over 600 for the first time, deadlifted over 600 for the first time, and benched over 400 for the first time. At 48 years old, having competed in probably 30-some meets, and have been lifting seriously strength training for like 30 years. And using Juggernaut AI. If you want a testimonial for Juggernaut AI, that's the freaking guy.
The guy that thought he couldn't get his deadlift to ever move again, just kind of had some ups and downs on bench and squat, and just comes in also looking absolutely massive. The biggest I've ever seen Larry look in my life.
Yeah, he was big. So that I made the comment to a couple people like, gonna have to come up with some new excuses because Larry's like 10 years older than us.
I know. You know what Larry always says? If I can't do it for one more year, you might as well start throwing the dirt on me now.
Keep the fucking dirt off of him because he's good to go for a while, it looks like.
He wiped the dirt off himself.
Yeah. He won best masters lifter. I think Cal won best junior lifter or what that award is.
Oh,
like
probably,
that.
yeah.
Best, I think it's junior.
I think so.
And then, what was the other power lift? Oh, I'll mention the strongman winners then, the class winners for strongman. It was Katie won women.
Mm-hmm.
Novice men was Big Ron.
Yep.
Big men, is that the next class would be big men?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
And that's Big James Ronyak won.
Yeah.
Bigger men, which that's the 270 class, right? Bigger men 270 class. That was where Toby and Alan had the tie for second and third place, and they did the horse stall mat
Weighted hold.
But Big Lauren won that one from Texas. Darren would be proud. Big Darren would be proud of Lauren.
Very proud.
And then the super heavies, or the biggest men, Big Austin won that one. And then Scott won the MVP award, Strongman MVP award that Jake gave out. So those are our big winners for the Strongman event and the powerlifting event, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of just really good performances across the board there.
Yeah. A lot of good people. Good people across the board too, is what I would say. Like, just look at that. Look at that list of strongman winners.
That's
like,
a good group.
Is there
right
anyone
there
that you're like, oh, really wouldn't want them to win? You know, like you're like,
well, everyone besides that Dodzilla guy.
Yes, exactly. So then awards finished up, and cleanup went really good. There again, a lot of volunteers.
Well, awards did not
move
finish
equipment.
up. We didn't go to the Massenomics awards yet.
Oh yeah, actually, that's what I've been waiting to talk about.
Yeah.
My favorite awards, of course.
Yes.
Like I think the most important awards. So we did 5 wooden plate awards, which all count as Hall of Fame check marks, of course. First of all, Spicy Pizza won
The Randy Award.
the Randy Award,
The coveted Randy Award.
and that went to the crew that had the best ratio. The crew member.
I think genuinely
had
he
the
was
best
pretty excited
ratio.
about that. I don't know if he was anticipating that one.
I think Big Spicy Pizza is very excited about that award. So
I think
he
we
let
caught
out
him off
quite
guard.
he let out quite the exclamation when he got read out for that one. So I was happy to see him win that. Strongest couple went to Cody and Scar.
Mm-hmm.
I think well deserved. Not easy to choose that winner.
No, that one was
There's a
one of the more
lot
difficult
of
ones.
strong couples this year.
There was.
That was not easy to pick a winner for that one, but I think that they definitely deserved it and earned it. So proud of them for winning that. Strongest volunteer, also not easy to choose because of how many, the number of volunteers, and then also the number of volunteers that just kick butt. Also, I got to shout out the people that come to volunteer that aren't even lifting.
Right, that just
Like
do it for
that
the love of the
really
game.
helps a lot.
Big
Like when you're
time.
just straight up there as a volunteer. So like Big Curd, Big Derek, for example, that no, that's not all of them, but like 2 guys that just, came from across the country and just to work, essentially like to work.
Just to be put
hang
to
out with
work.
friends and being awesome, do fun stuff. But people like that really help make it work too.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big deal. So that was strongest volunteer. What's left? Silliest Goose would be the last one, but before that is what award? Am I leaving out there? Oh, this ain't my first rodeo.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
This ain't my first rodeo was Big Jenna Lee this year.
Mm-hmm.
Also a lot of good. We had each award had a lot of people to talk about to figure out who is going to win each. No, none of these decisions were made lightly. And then Silliest Goose, the new reigning Silliest Goose is Paul Foss.
Yeah, very deserving.
He did the flipperoo going into his bench
I
press.
haven't seen that yet. I got to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
told me before the day started, he's like, I am winning that Silliest Goose award, and this is what I'm doing. So he had a game plan in place.
Yeah. Yeah, so Silliest Goose. So that's the awards. Then the rest of the tear down and clean up. There again, I think it went as fast as it possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
All the people helping carrying shit back on Saturday night down into Massenomics gym sucks.
Oh,
I can tell you from the last 2 years.
it does, but
That
having that many
sucks.
people around,
That's-
3 trailers and that
no.
many people is a game changer.
That's why it was also nice that we had like 2 trailers almost completely full
Mm-hmm.
before the last Strongman events even got going. And then also it's nice we had like 20 some volunteers helping move stuff. So
There was no rain, no muddy parking lot driving through. It was just
right.
pull the trailer up, get it on, and go.
And then shove that shit back into Massenomics gym as quickly as we can. And then I came back and got the booth trailer, the enclosed trailer that was already loaded up. So I brought that back, talked to Dave and Katie, and looked through the lost and found, brought about 10 bottles of ammonia and baby powder and stuff like that through that. There's always, both years I've noticed, or every year, there's quite the pile of lost and found crap. Like nothing of value this year. Like last year there was belts and stone sleeves.
Headphones.
And, stuff like that. But so the ammonia bucket at Massenomics gym is much fuller now than it was a week ago.
I thought I took all that ammonia and set it in there, and I thought, oh, okay, finally the ammonia's back, and the ones I put in were just more on top of what was there. It's like, yeah, it's completely stuffed.
Yeah. Also, there was apparently no ammonia at the start of the powerlifting meet on Saturday. So as the meet was just starting, I was in the process of driving back to my house at 100 miles an hour to grab a couple bottles of ammonia. Bring out. By the time I got there, pretty sure there was 5 bottles of ammonia out on the table.
Oh, was there?
Well,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. There was a whole bunch. So
it was found.
somebody had dug some up from somewhere.
Well,
but
I think some of the people in the earlier flights, the lighter flights, aren't the biggest ammonia hitters. It's
Right.
the deeper you get, the more ammonia comes out.
Yeah. So I brought a few and got those out. So it was at some point, I think it was still in that first flight by the time I got there with it. So Kurt says there's no way you managed to go more than 29. No, if you know the right roads, you can go quite fast when you need to get back quick on Lift Hard Live Easy Classic Day. Don't ask David about how fast he went on his trip though.
Yeah. Don't let the guy from California drive the car.
Yeah.
I told him, here in our state, it's a land of law and order, and there are rules to follow here. It's not this lawless land of California where you do whatever you want.
Yeah, we're in the Midwest now, David. And then what? The party, the after party, the party of all parties.
Yeah,
The
party
zoo.
at the zoo. What
It
time?
ain't a party unless it's a zoo bar party.
I was it 9:30, 10 o'clock when everyone kind of started getting to the zoo. I suppose 9, probably the first ones.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I'd say.
And the zoo, they're very accommodating. Had the meat logo all over all the TVs. Getting our drink on. Big Darren, Lauren's dad, did everything he could to make sure I was not without a Bud Light at all times.
He kept me hydrated with Shiner Box all weekend. As a matter of fact.
Man. I at basically all times had a camera and 2 Bud Lights in my hands at the zoo. I was well served.
Jess said several of them ate at the zoo this year, I actually ate at the zoo. It wasn't until like 9:30 or
Oh, you
something
did?
when I got, because by the time I got home and showered and stuff, I'm like, yeah, we probably just eat there, or else we're not going to get there till like 10:30. So I did eat at the zoo as well, which was fine. I can't even recall the food if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Totally nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, zoo, always a good time. I noticed there was a couple times, very quickly people started going outside of the patios. And I noticed there was at one point I came in and everyone's like, man, the party's a lot smaller than last year. And I'm like, no, they're all outside. Go out there. There's, 50, 60 people out there. And
the patio is where once the zoo gets too loud, once they turn the lights down and the music up, the patio is definitely the spot to go to.
And it was the perfect night. It was so nice outside. It was a good time.
Yep. was fun. I like seeing everyone there. Then that's over. Wake up Sunday. There's people at the gym. Go say hi to everyone at the gym. Some people are lifting already, prepping for next year. On Sunday morning, there's some people already getting their lift in preparation for Lift Hard Live Easy Classic 4. Training starts now.
Yep. Can't train for the year if you don't start first thing.
Ton of people brought crew stickers, put them all over the Smith machine at the gym. I was just looking at it today, though. I'm like, God, I don't even know if the Smith machine is half full of stickers yet. I mean, it's
a lot of surface area on that bad boy.
Yeah, it's starting to look pretty covered, but there's a lot of sticker room left to cover. I did like this year, I think it really took off in full effect, the crew sticker exchange.
Oh my
That's
God.
just like everyone's got a sticker and passing them out and trading them out. So
I would love to know how many orders as part of the crew sticker exchange that Plate Snacks has received in the last 6 months.
Man, it's got to, or that Hogan has made,
Right.
Nicole has made out of their stickers too. Yeah. I did think the Survive the Ramkota bathroom sticker was pretty funny.
That was really good. Yes.
Yeah, that was
and the picture is from you at the Ramkota, actually. That was.
Yeah, and Jake mentioned the crew keg. The one keg was all just stickers.
Oh yeah, we never really talked about the
everyone's.
silent auction. That was
There was a silent auction on Friday night. Did you see that? You saw the painting that Andy?
we had the high bid for a while, but we got.
I put a bid on it at one point in time, but then it got over $100, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna spend it.
Yeah, we had at 100, and I think the Hornets beat us out at the end.
Yeah, that was a cool painting. Particularly cool. He recreated the chalkboard in the back.
That was really cool.
And did it a mix of gym members and then just like, I would just say like various iconic supporting members that were on the list there. And it had all their numbers. He did the research and like Keith's is like the only one on the board that used decimal points on all the numbers.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I liked that. That made me laugh.
I was carrying my daughter inside for something, and we're walking, and she goes, "Daddy, it's you." And I looked at it. It's because she saw the painting. I'm like, oh, even a 2-year-old recognizes. Knows
so that
who
was
this is.
Big Randy from Skinny Idiot Studios from the Conspiracy Randy podcast. Actually, Andy, but say Randy. And he was there all weekend too.
Yes.
Talking about getting in on the powerlifting next year, actually.
Got to.
No, he said he's going. He said, I think they're going. I think he might.
He should. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So the silent auction was cool. It's kind of difficult to. I need a PA system for the Friday night party. Actually, is something I think I need because the megaphone doesn't cut it and screaming doesn't cut it, and it's need a PA system for the Friday night party. I think to help that out a little bit. What other? Well, actually, let me read an ad first. Barefoot Shoes, they were there. Mm-hmm. They were set up with a booth. I actually saw quite a few people walking away with new Barefoot shoes over the weekend. So they didn't have to go to the Barefoot website, but because you're not at the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic, you're going to need to do that. The beauty of it, the plus of it, you can use discount code Massenomics to save 10%. I saw Big Kim from Barbell Rescue had a new pair of Bruin boots on. We're taking a whiz in the urinal next to each other. I look down. I go, "Oh, Kim, you got some Bruin
Looking
boots."
down at him like you typically do.
Looking at his crotch and foot area. And I go, "Oh, what do you pack?" I go, well, he walks in. He starts taking a pee. I said, "Oh, Kim, what are you packing there?" He's like, "Well," he started telling me. I meant, "No, your boots, your Bruin boots."
Lower.
He's like, "Oh, these old things. These are my Bruin boots from Barefoot. You can get them at barefootshoes.store. So check them out. Use discount code MASS10. Or wait, Massenomics. Just Massenomics.
And this episode is also brought to you by the Strength Co. The meat warm-up room was pretty stacked with Strength Co plates. I think did every Strength Co plate we own make the cut, basically?
All but one. My one that I keep on my
the display
hang cleat plate wall.
The display unit.
My hang clean plate wall.
Yes, the hang clean plate wall. That one did not make it, but all the other functional ones did make it, and it was a good-looking warm-up room. Actually, true testimonial, Tommy Schneider, the stapler himself, who has handled I don't know, been in countless meets, spotted and loaded at countless meets, knows his way around a plate or two in the warm-up room. We're getting ready for squats, and he goes, God, these things actually are just really smooth and easy to grip. He's like, they just fit together so nice. And it was so funny. Right when he was doing that, Nate was walking by and he goes, hold on, let me get that on video. So he had to record Tommy saying it. But he's like, for real though, these plates are so nice to hold. And that's guy that's been spotting or that's been loading at meets for years now.
Plate or two.
Yeah, he knows exactly what a good plate should feel like. So he was impressed. And if you don't own a pair, get some because you will be impressed too. TheStrength.co, you can get all of their great made in America plates. Also got bumper plates available, plates from, I don't know, what's it, 0.75 all the way up to 100. They even got barbells, apparel, and other gym equipment items. Visit them at TheStrength.co. Thank you.
What anything that else that we could have improved upon on the weekend? That we easily could have just done better with just if we would have known better in hindsight. I think the warm-up, getting that extra 5 feet in the warm-up room.
Yeah, that'd probably be the biggest one for just quality of life.
Yep.
And we still actually had room in the back. We could have moved our booth back 5 feet too. You know, we had like unlimited room back there.
Right.
So that would have been one.
That's the biggest one to me.
Yeah. You know, like this year we actually had the ability to manipulate the lighting a little bit. You know, it wasn't all or nothing. So there was some, you know, we had the way that the lights could kind of get dialed in over the platform. So that added to the cool factor. Oh, one thing, I think they said this in the Discord. Leah said this to me too, is if there was some way to put the live stream feed on a projector screen, that could be a really cool touch too.
It would be really cool. No, I agree. That would be
because you know the pieces are.
It'd be great to have it on like 4 of them.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, yes, like multiple ones because the pieces are all in place there. I mean, outside of
it's just like a projector,
and a screen. I think outside of that, I think everything else Mini has is probably just either running another cord or putting another wireless receiver somewhere. I don't think it would be that hard. That's something that could make just another cool factor for the weekend. But I mean, by the time you're talking about adding projectors, you're already so past the low hanging fruit, you know. Right. You've already done a lot of things right. If that's where you're starting to look for issues, I don't know. There's probably something else. There's maybe something we're missing, but I really feel like the most obvious, just quality of life, things you need for a good event. I really feel like most, if not all of those were addressed at this location.
Yeah. The overall time of the event is relatively long, but in our current format, I don't know that there's much to be done about that other than making the awards a little bit faster.
Yeah. Like that's the most obvious one.
If we're going to use this size of number of people and do both events on the same day, that's kind of how long, you know, that's what that time takes within, you know, with give or take a little bit, but that's kind of what it takes. I think, you know, there's just nowhere. It was really ran as efficiently as possible on mostly all ends, I would say.
I think
there's
so.
Really nothing.
Yeah. I don't think anyone was slacking by any means. You know, it wasn't like, oh damn, if only he would have got his act together. Like there was none of that.
Right. So like this has come up. I mean, it's obviously not something we haven't thought of before, but Big Curd says, you know, make it a 2-day event, which is certainly something we've considered before. And it's funny, like every scenario you come up with, there's like logistical hurdles for basically everything.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible to do that. But a great example, like when we were talking, someone said, which I really like this idea, you should do the Strongman show on Friday in between weigh-ins of the powerlifting meet. You know, you got like however long of a window there, you know, there's a 5-hour window and the event starts that day. Well, the problem with that in the current structure is that we only have a certain amount of space in that event center to be able to do competing.
Yeah.
And the powerlifting meet is setting up all day Thursday and Friday. So in order to run the Strongman show and get done Friday evening, then there's no longer enough time for the Strongman or for the powerlifting to be set up like it wants to be for the Saturday morning kickoff.
Yeah, it'd be different if you want to say the event area or competition area, if that was double the size, well, okay, all of a sudden we're talking a different game here now because there's room to spread things out. But I think the reason the strongman can even happen is because when it's done, the powerlifting stuff is out of there. You know, there's just all that equipment takes up so much room back there that it actually is impossible for them to both exist. You know, while the powerlifting meet is going on, the powerlifting stuff is back there and the strongman stuff is kind of spread out along the sides and back of the room. And as it gets closer, more and more powerlifting stuff goes out and the strongman stuff starts filtering in. So that is the biggest hurdle in having something like that happen on a Friday is just the logistics.
It's funny looking at the live feed, live listeners, you know, the things come up that we talk about. You know, Garrett says, well, you could do you could put the strongman outdoors. I'm like, you can, but then we're at the mercy of the weather, which is a problem.
Yes.
And like very unpredictable. Could be extremely hot, could be raining. You know, do you need an enormous tent? And then if they're at the same time, you're splitting the audience and we don't like that.
Yeah.
If they're at different times, maybe that works better, but you have to, being outside of it has its own set of concerns, obviously.
Well, and then you go back outside and, okay, so, I mean, do you just make everyone stand? Like, you can. That's how a lot of shows do it, but it's...
Right. But then you also have to double up if you're putting things in two separate spots, you're doubling up a lot of other things, too. Like, like Mini, for example.
Right.
Mini
the
is
live
there
stream
all
can't
day
happen
Thursday
then.
and all day Friday, setting up for one spot.
There's no live stream.
Right.
Your volunteer pool has to be kind of almost even bigger again because like those volunteers are actually just gone at the strongman the whole time while the powerlifting is going on. I guess, you know, powerlifting doesn't need as many of the volunteers, but
you double up on a lot of assets, including people.
And then just in a jealous way, if you're doing one or the other, you just don't even see one anymore now. You know, like you're completely removed from that part of the day, which sort of
if you do them at the same time. I think it's an interesting idea to have. What I wish you could do is have the strongman on Friday during that time in between and be able to have it in the same spot. But it's just, so then the question comes up that Kurt brings up, is there an even bigger venue in Western Northeast South Dakota that it could be in the same room, but in a different spot in that same room? And then Jake said it, well, yes, it's called the Odie. So the Odie is actually big enough to be able to do that, but then it's not climate controlled. And then if it's 100 degrees that weekend, we're back to
health concerns,
a different set of concerns.
I guess, I don't know. Is the deck,
the deck is a little bit bigger.
But
it's also fancier and nicer, and we may start to run the risk of what we can even get away with doing in there too.
And also even more expensive. So
yes, we're going to be at double. Take what we spent now and double that again.
Right. So at the point where it's like, well, this actually doesn't even make sense to do this anymore. Like it's not just about the money, but it's also about like not losing a lot of money.
And also, if that's what we're talking, it probably we'll know this better about a week from now once it's all laid out. But it really probably doesn't barely make sense to do it as it is. Like if it's about the money. So if we're going to spend more, like then the whole structure has to be different somehow.
Yeah.
You know, that there has to be double the amount of money coming into the event.
Yeah.
You know, we're already doing a pretty good job maximizing sponsors and stuff like that. So it's where it just is. It's probably why there's not a lot of huge
shows that do
lifting shows like this, honestly.
Right. You know, I mean, because it is really setting up for two different shows. Like it really is.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And the part of it too, you know, like Jake's even talked, part of it's tricky. So Massenomics runs the event. Stenson Powerlifting.
I would say more like the weekend. We orchestrate the weekend.
The weekend. Stenson Powerlifting runs the powerlifting meet. Height and Strength runs the strongman competition. And as everyone should, everyone has their own interests in mind.
Everyone has their own goals and objectives.
Right. And it's tricky because of all the limitations we talked about. It's tricky to make it perfect for all fronts.
Yeah.
But like, that's the reason we're talking about it, even because it's like, oh, we always just wanted a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So cause like we can, it should be very doable to do the exact same thing again, for example, but like, how do you make that better? How do you make it
and
better?
I really do feel like compared to last year, I think it is better. Like I think it was a better product and a better experience in just about every way. I mean, I think the warm-up area, like people start saying warm-up area in the Discord, like you said, I think moving that thing up 5 feet to me really takes care of it. Like, I mean, I get it was a tight warm-up area, but like, again, when you're doing squats, you go squat on your platform. And when you're done, you just move out of the way. Like, just be self-aware. I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Right.
And it's definitely not a big deal by deadlift. Bench, it just gets less of a deal as the day goes on. Just squat has the most moving pieces. Bench, you're just at the bench. Deadlift is just the deadlift, and most of the equipment's gone.
Yep. Big Garrett brought it up too. I do think it's just a cool perk though, was just being at the Ramcota in general.
I think that's so awesome.
Stay there.
Yeah.
I think that was a cool vibe. I think like we talked about the pool thing. That was cool.
Yep. And it was just so much more hanging out. You and I talked about this was last year, going to the OD, you got to get in the vehicle, get there. And then once you're done weighing in or whatever you got to do, it's like 85 degrees in there. It's not pleasant to hang around in. So for the most part, people kind of hung out a little bit and took off. Where this year it's like, no, I'm staying here. This is the hangout spot. Everyone's here. So people were just hanging out there so much more. And it was really fun because it was just so much more casual.
Yep. So we'll see. We got a year to decide what happens in July of 2026. Also, as we know, the year goes really fast.
God, it does. It does. Because between now and then, I don't know, probably go to the Arnold. Actually, Home Gym Con will be after next year, so that's one off the list. But I don't know, probably go to the Arnold and like 2 or 3 road trips, flying trips for home gym tours and other items, which basically means there's a Massenomics trip damn near every other month now.
Someone, I said this was a joke for the most part, but someone mentioned, when people had asked me how it went and stuff like that, and I'm like, because it like wears on my body and mental state. Like it is it's a whole year of prepping for it, but like the week of it's a wild like 5 days.
Oh, it is. I'm not like hosting people, and I sleep terrible all week because I'm just constantly thinking of not only like my own personal job of the amount of shit I have to get done before I'm going to be gone for a few days, but then once they're there, like, no, this all has to go perfect. We got YouTube videos we got a content schedule that we stick to that doesn't break. Like the podcast actually didn't make the Sunday release for the first time in probably like 7 years this week. Cause it's so much stuff. And at the same time, you're trying to talk to people and hang out and have a good time and like be present,
which is the coolest part. You don't want to miss out on
but
that.
It's really freaking hard to do all of that and then just not pass out.
So what the joke I said when someone asked me how it went, I'm like, I think it's too good. I think it went too good. Wish we could come back and be like, I don't think anyone had any fun this year. Everyone
Shut it down.
Went terribly. Everyone hated it. I can't imagine anyone wanting to come back. Now we don't have to do it next year.
It's all done.
But the opposite of that is true, where I leave thinking it was probably the coolest year yet. Like it keeps getting cooler and better. Too.
So okay, so just a few notes along that line. Okay, this scenario happens a lot, but here's just one. We're at Loggers Thursday night. A fairly big gentleman comes up to the bar. I'm like, no idea who this guy is. Looks like he lifts, but it also just might be some guy that's randomly in town.
Yeah.
And kind of make a comment, and the guy starts talking, and it's Big Flo from Canada, and he's talking about how he just drove up and doesn't know anyone, but he's been following us a while, and kind of keeps up with everything, and kind of nervous about the weekend, unsure about lifting, and end up talking. He was really cool, really nice. Had a lot of good conversation with him. And then all of a sudden it's Saturday after the meet. Flo stops me in the, after we were done with the powerlifting, he stops me in the hall. He's like, oh, Tommy, and I think he'd be fine with me saying this in the podcast. He's like, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this. It was so awesome. Thursday, I was just so nervous about this whole thing. And I was so glad I went out to the bar Thursday night. I met everyone. Like I got so comfortable. I was having such a good time. Like that was just like the perfect icebreaker. And I've had so much fun all week. And then I see there's videos of him shotgunning beers with people. And, I see his lifts and like he had what I could tell, what seemed like an amazing weekend.
Yeah.
And it was like he came in here not having met anyone in the group. And I think if you had to ask him, like, how'd it go? He'd probably say I had an amazing time and I feel like I had a whole new group of best friends.
And he'd probably say there's no way I can't come do this again next, if at all possible. He's like, I'm not missing it next year.
And there's a lot, like Big Derek, Big Kurt, those guys drove very far distances.
And have never met almost basically anyone.
Yep,
from
had
this group of
basically never
people.
really met anyone. They weren't even here to compete. They were just here to take it all in. And they, I think, had rave reviews about the weekend too. Like they had, from what I could tell, it seemed like everywhere we went, they had a big smile. They were chatting it up with everyone and they were having a great time. And that story you could repeat almost countless times for everyone involved.
Well, and like those are just like small cases of, or even people like that. It was their second time, but the first year I just, for whatever reason, didn't get a chance to talk to him that much. I'd say like Quinn and Big Quinn and Big Simon from Colorado. Didn't probably get to talk to him that much last year, a little bit, but this year it seemed like their second year here. I'm like, oh, I kind of know him already. Then we get talking, and then it's like you're bullshitting with your old
that
buddies.
is the one. Is the people you meet the first year, all of a sudden the second year you do feel like you've known them forever, and it's like, nope, there's not even the introductions. Like we're just like hitting it off, having a great time.
And then the people that come back from the third year, I'm like, I can't even imagine this event if you weren't here.
I know.
Like, how could you not be here? Like, what would this would, there's a whole bunch of people and oddly people that were there the first, missed the second, back for the third. You're like,
here you are.
So glad you made it now. It seems like it's been way too long.
Yeah, good to see you. Another one, Wes. Never met Wes before.
Right.
Talked to Wes a ton. Again, just another person that now it seems like, well, of course I've known that person forever. And it's like, no, you really just spent like a few days with them was all.
Right.
I mean, Lauren, too,
Lauren and his whole family.
Yeah.
That's
never met them. And it's like, well, we've obviously known them for years. It's like, no, we really haven't.
Yeah. That's the other thing about this event too, is it just does provide a lot of value for Massenomics outside of this event, the community aspect of it, where it's like, I don't know that you ever build that. You don't ever build it to the same extent without this event.
Right. If you only are an online company, you don't have events, you don't have meetups, you don't have any in-person interaction. I mean, like, you can still have
even
a cool
if it's
company.
just the Arnold, it's not the same though.
Right.
Too.
That's what I'm saying. Is more like when I say I'm like thinking of Crew Falls and and
Crew
this
Falls
specifically,
yes,
our events, where we're orchestrating it the way we want it to be.
Right.
Yeah. And like the Arnold is still a great chance to get to meet people, but it's still, you're kind of in someone else's rules.
The Arnold and Home Gym Con and stuff are really only as good as they are for a Massenomics meetup because of these events still, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Like without this event, Home Gym Con isn't the same. The Home Gym Con's the same for all the other people going, but for the Massenomics crew,
it just feels like it's all like a recruiting event. It's like, okay, because now you've done that. Now we're going to have more fun at this next thing.
Right.
I mean, I'm at the point in my life where I see Keith damn near every 4 months, which is just crazy.
Well, me and Hogan were talking. It's like, and he said something even there. I'm pretty sure I've seen him like 5 times this year.
Yeah, you have. Just this year, what the Arnold, we did the gym tour at his house, Home Gym Con, this now. Yeah, like
I went to his house, he came to my house.
like 4 times in 7 months.
He came to your house.
Yeah.
You were at his house.
God, yes,
We've all been at each other's houses.
Oh, yeah, forget about it. He was at Crew Falls too. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. It actually really funny when you say that Hogan does live in Ohio, and I've seen him that many times just since basically December.
Yeah.
That's Massenomics for you, though.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, sitting on the sidelines, just know you could be the fresh face next year that shows up, doesn't know anyone, and has the absolute time of your life.
Yeah. And I hope I don't come off negative. I'm like, I guess you're getting a really candid feedback of the event because we're like a couple days off of it and like trying to recover from it, honestly. And I'm just thinking like, you're just we're literally speaking out loud about recapping the event. And I think it was awesome. I think it was great. I think it was, it was like one of the most fun weekends of my life. But it's just a balancing act between the work involved and all the fun. So, it's like, and when it's fresh off of doing it, that's when I'm kind of like,
oh, the work part sticks out in your mind a lot. Yeah. But then looking back, you forget, did we do work? I don't even.
Right.
Last year just went great. Did we just showed up and had a good time? You forget all the work you put in.
Exactly. So that's and I do just want to say, the people competing, it doesn't exist without the 130 people that come to compete and put on the show. Doesn't happen without Jake and Abby running the Strongman, without Dave and Katie running the powerlifting meet, without all of the volunteers that do it. All the people working the doors, working the booths, all of the sponsors, all of the other booths that come, Minnie and Rachel running the live stream, everyone that lets me borrow stuff from them, like trailers, and everyone that drives their pickup and loads it with, the Phillipses were there with their vehicles loaded with shit all the time too. And, it really wouldn't happen unless there's a whole bunch of people willing to, that also want to see it do well. So, and travel across the world to come here and do it.
And all come,
like
come
it's
together.
no small commitment for these people. Like, it's easy to be like, oh, you have to come. And it's like, well, yeah, but I
you just have to get on a plane and either land in Minneapolis or Sioux Falls and drive 3 or 5 more hours, or fly into Aberdeen and just pay a pretty large amount of money, more than likely, to make it happen. Like, it's that easy. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's it.
Did we also mention that the times probably aren't very convenient either?
Right. So, anything else on recapping it? Any final thoughts?
Like I said in the beginning, I know for sure we missed some stuff. There's just so much to take in this weekend. Probably missed something really important too, but it's just like it is the craziest weekend of the entire year, hands down. But it's so fun. It is so fun.
Yeah, everyone's gone. People start getting here on Wednesday. The last people leave on Monday. So it is, as far as that goes, it's 5 days of people here in Western Northeast South Dakota. I think several comments around the community this year about, like, even seeing on, like, the stupid Aberdeen Rants and Raves Facebook page, like, comments like, I heard there's some bodybuilding show going on in town. And, like, reading all the like, someone sent me, and reading all the comments were really interesting, because we talked about the large events that we went to, but people are going out to eat places in pretty big groups all the time.
All the time. Like, even the local spots, Schwanny's, the Circus.
Schwanny's got hit up pretty, and Circus both got hit up pretty hard, it looked like to me. So word starts getting around, like, what's going on?
Even the guy that works the rental car counter at the airport used to bowl against him, and I ran into him at the gas station when I was leaving, and he said, "How you doing?" And I said, "Oh, good. I'm in Sioux Falls now. We just had this weightlifting thing we do in town." He goes, "Oh yeah, I know. They rented a bunch of cars this weekend."
Right.
People are aware.
What is Chris Daminger? Is that right? That Bob is
still
in
around?
Aberdeen? That can't be right, is he? I didn't know he was still in town.
Hey, just relaxing.
Come hang out. Wow.
It's still there.
What's he been doing? I haven't seen
He's
him at the
not
gym.
leaving.
Yeah, he could have came and lifted today. I did. There was a story with the Phillipses about my mother-in-law was trying to spread vicious rumors to people that you're not like that. I joke about crapping your pants at the gym, but she was trying to tell people you really shouldn't probably be crapping your pants at the gym. And I said, no, that's a lie. It is okay to crap your pants at the gym. That's how you know you're trying. Yeah. So I don't want anyone telling anyone that it's not okay to crap your pants at the gym.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's your undies.
They're my undies. I want to crap in them now. Okay. What about housekeeping? All the merchandise, like we said, is going to go for sale on the website. It is for sale on the website at the time that you're listening to this. We're now that we're finally going to get some breathing room, sort of like, I mean, I wouldn't say we have breathing room yet, but at some point in time, there's going to be breathing room, and we're going to be working on the crew mailer that's going to come out here soon. So there'll be more details to come on that. The short of it is, if you're not a supporting member, get signed up now, because we're going to have something special. Also, if you're not a supporting member and you want to do the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic 4, assuming that there is one, get signed up to be a supporting member, because you get first shot. And I just think it's going to get bigger and bigger, and the spots are going to become even harder to get. And you pretty much need to be a supporting member. And the other thing I'd say is, I don't care what anyone else tells you, because at the end of the day, it comes down to us. You never know when it's going to be the last one. So don't sit back and think, oh, I'm going to come next year.
that next year is guaranteed.
Right. Because I've said this before to other people. The Strongman Showdown ran 3 years. This is a way smaller scale, but like for reference, it's comparable.
Similar situation.
It ran for 3 years, and it wasn't getting smaller when we quit doing it.
It was getting more hyped up every year.
Right. And we eventually stopped doing that. So
yeah, or if the Ramcota says this like Hogan says, the Ramcota says, yeah, no, you guys aren't coming back. That puts things in a different...
Not impossible. I did get an earful on Saturday. I did have to get a stern talking to from the Ramcota, so you never know what would happen, although we gave them a shitload of money. There was a ton of people staying there, bought a ton of food from them.
Even a lot
that
of
place
alcohol.
is a little... The interior I didn't have much of a problem with, I guess. We did have a room there too, and I went in there. The AC in that room was not working all that well, so I didn't like that. But the exterior of that place is a little dilapidated.
You can tell that it just exchanged ownership, and you can tell that the previous ownership group was really moving on from their duties.
So we'll see if it is under new ownership like now. So we'll see what happens there over the next year. There, Jake said it. We had 1,000 spectators at the fair when we quit doing that.
Oh, there's a lot of people that said that was their favorite event of the fair, like the entire fair.
That still talk about it now. Yeah. And it's been like almost 10 years at this point.
And then the fair said, oh, perfect. Let's move that to Sunday afternoon when everyone leaves town.
And I was like, no. How about we don't? And how about you guys, like after the third year of them not doing the tiniest of things that was expected of them, it's like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. But my point to that be, don't, when 4 comes around, which it probably will, don't not sign up because you think you're going to do the next one, because you just never really know.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to skip certified training facility this week. We'll come back to that next week. This was a long one because we had a lot to recap on this, and we want to give everyone our detailed rundown. Is there anything else? I see you had a chat GPT. No, that's okay for next week.
Yeah.
Okay. And now that we finished the recap, we can start our preview of the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic 4.
No. There's a lot that needs to happen first. We got a lot of content.
Let
trips.
the questions for part 4 begin.
No, I don't want to think about it for a while. Give me a break.
Yeah. Yes. Everyone wants a date and that sort of thing. We don't have that. You can ask that stuff, but we don't have answers for that. But in true fashion, every year we haven't put that out. We've got that out pretty early, so stay tuned for that sort of thing. Tommy, our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget about it. Don't let all this Lift Hard, Live Easy whirlwind of events let you forget about the Massenomics YouTube channel. Head over there and subscribe. We did the video where we went through the equipment of the rundown as like Dave and Jake and everyone were setting up. So check out that YouTube if you haven't yet. I thought that was kind of a fun one, something a little bit different that we hadn't done before. And then we'll be posting the vlog of the weekend, which those are the funnest freaking videos. They never get the most engagement.
Someone said,
but they are so good.
I can't remember. Maybe it was Flow too. I can't remember. I just talked to so many people. They're like, what really sold me was I watched your vlog last year and that looked like the funnest thing ever. And I had to come because of that. And I agree. Like that sums up the attitude and the feeling pretty well.
That's if you listen to most of this podcast, you listen to this point and you don't watch that, go watch that vlog video. It doesn't exist yet.
I haven't even watched a single clip of it. I
already know how fun it's going to be. Like, because I know the formula and what that looks like. And I'm like, I'll watch that and I'll completely forget about any of the work. And I'm like, God, that's fun. Look at how much fun that was. Like all of our couple hundred of our best friends. Yeah. I'm like, I forgot we were all just hanging out and chatting and having a beer. I'm like,
look at that group of trouble over there. Look at those guys. What are they up to?
That is what it's like too. And there's like 30 groups like that around too. So check that video out and make sure you're subscribing on YouTube. And then we also got more crew gym tours coming. A couple fun Ohio gym tours that are coming down the pike real soon also. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.